Steve, my good man, how the devil are you?
I'm pretty good, fella. How are you?
I'm very good, my friend. You sounded very sprightly then.
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
That would probably be that lethal concoction you've brought around.
Yeah, the final bottle of my dead relative alcohol.
This could finish us off as well, mate.
It's maybe the worst of the bottles, actually. It's potent stuff.
I've only got a shot glass with a tiny, tiny bit in, and I top the rest up with Coke, and it is blowing me.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. It seems to be a bit denser than Coke as well, because even after stirring, it's all settling in the bottom of the glass. So that last mouthful is the one that really set me over the edge earlier.
Yeah, work's going to be interesting tomorrow.
That's all right. That's a problem for tomorroh, Steve, not today, Steve.
Exactly. Might just be sat down the back of the boat like, just leave me here.
You're like, I honestly can't function today. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, Christ.
No, it's fun though. I'm liking this drink a lot. But this actually, Steve, is the first time in 2 or 3 weeks now where I haven't walked in and seen you rubbing your face for like the toothache that you've been suffering with.
Oh yeah, that's all gone.
Yeah, I know. I can tell.
She did a wonderful job. They gave me some antibiotics because apparently I had a bit of an infection. And yeah, she went to town. It was apparently where I was grinding my teeth, like in my sleep.
Yeah,
really upset 2 teeth, so she worked on those, and yeah, she's a miracle worker.
Nice, happy days.
Only cost £20.
Fuck me, you how?
There's an emergency appointment.
Oh, did you pay less for an emergency appointment?
Oh, apparently so.
Well, that's a result.
Yeah.
But that's probably actually for everyone living in the UK right now. That's very good news, because if you've tried to get a dentist recently, you'll understand you can't get a fucking dentist anywhere at the moment.
Mate, they've all gone on holiday.
Yeah, they've all been on holiday since 2013, I think.
Yeah, when did I move here? 6 years ago. So obviously I moved out of the catchment area. My old dentist could not get one over here, and I've been on the waiting list for 5 different practices.
Is that all NHS ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because private dentistry, as we know, is
stupid money. I've had to go with a private dentist, but they're one of the semi-private ones. So
that's exactly what
they take NHS patients, but they also take private patients, and they didn't have any room on the NHS list. So here I am. I now have to pay through the fucking nose for it.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I've done. I've just resorted. I was like hanging it out.
Yeah,
I was like, my teeth have never been that bad. But I was hanging it out, and just going with it.
Yeah,
just visiting the odd one whenever I could get in, just to get them checked. But yeah, now I'm on this den plan thing where you have to pay X amount a month. But you're in. You're in there. You're on the books.
Is this like Bupa, but for dentists?
I think so.
All right, fair enough. This is probably quite a funny conversation for all our American listeners, who I'm sure either have to pay for their own dental care, full stop.
Is it insurance? Do you guys have to have insurance over there? Let us know if you have dental insurance. I think so.
I don't really understand so much about what happens with the American medical system, because it just blows my mind somewhat. And I understand we're very fortunate here to be in a position where we're like, you have to pay for your medicine. That's fucking weird. We are in a very fortunate position in the UK.
Yeah, it's a good system we have. Although we do pay for it through your wages.
Yeah, it's all tax, isn't it?
National insurance
it's not
reductions.
Cheap, but
no, it's not. But it's a great system where you could just go to a doctor's and get treatment.
Exactly. I'd rather be paying through my nose on tax and know I can get like healthcare when I need it.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. I have no problem with tax, generally, as long as it's looked after correctly.
Yeah, as long as you get it. We pay for dentists as well, and we just can't get it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're forced to pay private on top. So all of a sudden you're paying double.
Yeah, you're like, how has this worked out?
Any other service that you paid for that you could not get, you just cut off.
Yeah.
But obviously I can't just rock up to the government and go, oi, where's my treatment?
Yeah, exactly. Just standing outside number 10 with like your blackened teeth, just like, help me.
Yeah, I'm dying.
I'm not suggesting you've got a mouthful of blackened teeth, obviously.
I'm a bit of a shower at this point.
That's just what happens. It's an age thing, mate. Don't worry about it.
It is, pretty much.
As long as you can still eat ice cream, that's the real test. I know when my teeth start to get a bit sore and I can't eat ice cream, then I'm like, fuck, I need to do something here. And then I just go and buy like better toothpaste, generally.
That's pretty much. I did get once like a bit into an ice cube, and I was like, oh, that really hurt.
Yeah.
So I knew that it was something like start using the old extra
Sensodyne and stuff. The ones that are like £4 a tube rather than 99p.
They bloody are.
Yeah.
But I was just like necking it. I was like, come on.
You just end up drinking it.
Yeah, basically, just like holding it in your mouth, filling the gaps.
I'm not really sure that's how it's supposed to work, but as long as it worked for you, Steve, it's probably £4 cheaper than visiting a dentist. So.
Yeah, it worked anyway.
Yeah, it does the job. Anyway, Steve, this is a MotoGP show.
Not a dentistry show.
So, shall we dive in, Steve? We've got a fair amount to talk about this week.
Well, yeah, we have got quite a bit, actually, but this could be a late one.
Yeah, we're going to go through the news as we see it, and we've got some correction corner to go through. I've got an apology to make, and then we've got our introducing Darren Binder to the world. So, let's dive in, shall we?
Let's go for it, buddy.
Good stuff. I'm Tim. He's Steve. and this is for the love of MotoGP. Now, if you're new to MotoGP, guys, you are joining us at the perfect time. We're on our final show of introducing the rookie. Steve's just taken a swig of whatever this sugarcane alcohol is, and it's blown his bloody head off.
That might be why I can't feel my teeth.
So if you're new to MotoGP, get used to this. But no,
alcoholism.
Yeah. If you need to know what's going on in the sport, guys, scroll back through your podcast feed. You'll see our introduction to MotoGP 2021. That'll teach you everything you need to know to start enjoying the sport we all love. Or just bear with us a couple of weeks, listen to the bullshit we put out each week, and there will be a brand new version of that show, the introduction to MotoGP 2022, and we'll be covering the riders, the storylines, the teams, all of the fun stuff, the rules, everything you need to really get into the sport.
And Tim will probably get a little bit drunk.
Depends when we record it. If we're up until like 3 o'clock in the morning recording again like we were last year, Steve, then I will be
late one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a long day of recording.
Yeah, that was what we recorded the normal show, then stepped straight onto the introduction show.
I think we recorded for about 4 or 5 hours that night.
It was a long one. It was over a weekend though, wasn't it?
I absolutely have no idea, mate.
I can't remember.
I think I'm not sure. It was probably just a Tuesday night. It's been Tuesday night for a long time now.
It has, actually, yeah. So it probably was a Tuesday night. I got a feeling I may have had the day off work the next day.
Okay, that would make sense.
Booked it off just because I knew it was going to be a long one.
Yeah, that makes sense. Using a day's holiday for the podcast.
Yeah.
I like that, Steve. That shows true commitment to the cause. Exactly.
Definitely.
Anyway, Steve, this week, before we dive into the show, we have a correction corner. So, let's hit the jingle. Correction corner. The first point on our correction corner this week, Steve, because sadly we have to admit we do have a couple of points to get to, because that's
okay. We didn't have any for a couple of weeks.
No, exactly. Everyone's making it up now and being like, God, we need to point out when these guys are fucking wrong.
Yeah, all the time, apparently.
So this first one, Steve, this comes from Craig in the Facebook group, and this is in relation to you and I rambling on about COTA and not really understanding how they wouldn't know the ground was a bit shit. We were talking about this. We were like, how could they not know? There's loads of cities and stuff around there. How did they not know the ground was shit? So Craig got in touch. And I'm just going to read out what Craig's written here because it's quite a lot and I can't be able to paraphrase it, to be honest. So, and this from Craig, I quote, "So just wanted to throw out a little info about COTA. It's actually located in Elroy, Texas, which is just outside Austin. As far as major infrastructure around the area, there isn't much. The closest and biggest infrastructure would be the airport. Aside from that, all the big buildings you see on TV during the race would be another 20 to 30 miles away from the track. If you look at it on satellite, you'll see it's placed in kind of middle of a field. Now, if I'm not mistaken, when the track was being built, they were aware the ground would shift. I really thought that said they were aware the ground was a bit shit. But no, they were aware the ground would shift, but didn't think it would cause such an issue like it did. The soil underneath the surface is horrible and is always shifting, so now they're repaving it correctly." And then he goes on to tell us a little side note about other Texas tracks. He says, COTA is the smoothest track in the state. All the tracks we use for club racing are pretty bumpy. But our motto is, if you can go faster on a bumpy track, you can ride faster on a smooth track. I like that. That's a real motorcycle racer mentality.
Yeah, that's my kind of logic.
And then he went on to share a video from one of his races in 2016 at a track in Houston. Which we just watched the video before we sat down to record, Steve. That track looks like the back roads around Norfolk, mate. It's properly, you can see the different bits of tarmac thrown in together.
It's just patchwork.
Yeah, it's a proper patchwork track, and it looked bumpy. But I really like watching those videos of like club level racing.
I do like club level racing. Like, we went last year to a local track. It's just good. You see all the different lines.
Yeah, that's what's fun about it.
Yeah, the guys aren't hitting the markers all the time. It's not pin perfect.
I feel like they're probably happy if they get like one properly clean lap.
Yeah. But it's just they're taking part.
Yeah, and that's the really important thing, and it's fun, isn't it? It's that kind of the garagista mentality. It's just like, I'm just going to rock up with my bike in the back of my van. I'll sleep in my van. I've got my 2 sets of tyres for the year. Let's go.
Yep, absolutely. I love that.
Yeah, I like it too. He also says in this message that it's the same track where Gerloff and Bobier started their road racing careers. So, it's a track that's got
It's got history.
It's got history. It might be bumpy and really patchwork together, but it's made some real masters of the sport.
Exactly. If you could ride on a bumpy track,
you can go faster on a smooth track.
Exactly
that. So yeah, thank you very much for that, Craig. It's much appreciated. It's nice to hear these things actually from locals around these circuits. Stuff that
absolutely.
You don't know unless you're a local there. You wouldn't know anything about the other racetracks in the area. So it's quite nice to get that kind of local insider info about them.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and next one, Steve. This one comes from Callum in the Facebook group, and this was in relation to me mentioning about a Great Yarmouth road race. We were talking about road racing. We'd already been corrected by a couple of people. We were talking about, is there any road racing in the UK? Yeah. We're going back quite a few shows for this storyline to keep tagging along now.
2, 3, 4 shows ago.
But then in the last show I mentioned, I remember there was that Great Yarmouth road race supposed to happen. So Callum got involved again in the Facebook group, and he obviously was quite entertained by my idiocy here. Mm-hmm. And he says, just finished this week's podcast and thought I'd add on to Tim's comments about the Great Yarmouth TT. It was a spoof article by a news outlet with as much credit as GP1.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, fair enough. So I did reply and say I'd embarrassed myself in front of the internet because I believed this spoof article. But shit happens. We all make mistakes.
Some people believe GP1, so...
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Don't feel bad.
Thanks, man. That does make me feel better, actually. Callum goes on to say as well that kind of if anyone wants to know more about road racing and stuff, that Closer to the Edge, which we mentioned with Guy Martin before, came out in 2010. I think we might have said it was 2012 or 2013.
I can never remember exactly when these shows come out.
No, exactly.
There are quite a few now.
Yeah, I can't believe that was like 12 years ago that film came out
nuts. Now. It's nuts. When you look back, you think like all the shows that have been done.
Yeah, certainly.
And now a long time ago.
Yeah.
And we're thinking, right, updates.
That's exactly
it's time.
I've been waiting for another MotoGP film for a while, but we're getting a series now, so that's even better than a film.
Yes. Yeah, that's going to be... I can't wait for that to come out.
Callum also recommends people going and watching Road, which follows the Dunlop dynasty.
That is good.
And now when you watch it with a sense of foreshadowing as well.
Yeah.
Because obviously more has happened. And I read his book as well, Michael Dunlop's book.
Yep.
And in that he's talking a lot, and Road feels the same actually now when you watch it back, but he's talking a lot about the death of his uncle and his father to road racing. He speaks about that a lot in the book, and in how him and his brother talk about it and how they deal with it together. And obviously in the future, we know now that his brother also goes on to die in a road racing accident. So both the film Road and the book, the Michael Dunlop book, I can't remember what it was called, but it's a really good book.
It is a good book, yeah, I've read it. I think I've got it on the bookshelf in there, but I can't remember what the title is off my head. No. Just Google it, you'll find it online.
Yeah, it's easy. I found it on Kindle Daily Deals for like 99p years ago. But it's a very good read. But yeah, it feels a bit darker now, knowing what happened after the book was written and after the film was made. Yeah,
it just puts that kind of tinge on it. Because you know in the back of your head exactly what's going to happen. And you're reading it in like a past tense, so it's strange to do it now.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's like that with a lot of movies and stuff and all that jazz. It just when it's something you really love, like road racing, bike racing, you're sitting there waiting for that point to crop up.
Yeah.
In the book, in the movie, it's just just gives you those little shivers. Just makes it very more human, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. But it's very good. The film is incredible, and if you have any interest in kind of road racing, especially the Isle of Man TT with Close to the Edge, but Close to the Edge and Road are just two of the best road racing films.
Seriously very good. Right, Timo, time for a message from our friends at Manscaped.
Yep, go ahead, Steve.
Right, we have a nice little poem to start.
Oh, that's what I like to hear, my friend.
I like it. Are you ready?
Go for it.
Roses are red, violets are blue. Don't let a wild pube wreck you.
Ooh, it's a powerful statement.
That is a powerful statement. Yep. Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and our sponsors at Manscaped are here for you with the best tools to get your balls ready for the special occasion. I like it. This V-Day, it's time to join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming. With our exclusive offer, go to manscaped.com and use the code MotoGP for 20% off and free shipping. Now, the holidays went by so quickly. Did you remember to take care of your package with the best tools for the job?
I didn't, Steve. I have to admit, and I said this at the time, mate, I dropped the ball on my balls a little. Over Christmas and New Year, I was very much I'm not going to bother looking after things. It all got a bit out of hand, Steve, but now we're coming here for Valentine's Day. I'm getting it back. We're on top of things again.
I went for the full package. I even used it on my beard.
Nice. I did have to use it on my beard the other day because my beard trimmer ran out and I ran out of battery. And I was like, I'm not going to sit here with half a beard and wait for this to charge. So I'm just going to risk the pube trimmer. And it was fine. It's a little bit smaller than the beard trimmer.
Yeah, it's a little bit narrower.
Yeah, so it took a little bit longer, but it worked a treat.
Yeah, I just trimmed everything else. I was like, I wonder how much this can handle.
I like to think you just did one strip from the groin to the chin, all the way up through the chest, up the neck, chin, done.
No, we went for the whole hog. I stood there, I was like, I run out of razors, like you go to your packet to get a new blade out. I was like, oh, damn it. Sarah was moaning, she's like, you're all spiky. I was like, I wonder if this will handle the beard. And it did, it tore through it. It only nicked me once, where you just come up around your jawbone.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because that's a bit of a multi-angle bit, even with the razor. I was just got that wrong. But the rest tore through it. Lovely.
Happy days. That's what we like.
And I realised this weekend, since we got them, I've not actually charged it yet, and it is still going strong.
I actually realised the same thing this week when I was using it. I haven't charged mine yet.
No.
And it's still got 3 lights.
Yeah, mine has not dropped a light yet. Yeah. And I've used it quite a lot, to be fair. I was like, this is impressive.
Taming that wild bush.
Yeah. I was like, fuck, you going fast. You don't realise. It's that bit, I've trimmed you, you're back.
Yeah, fuck, how did this happen?
Yeah, it grows faster than my beard. Oh dear, where was I? Anyway, the holidays went by so quickly. Did you remember to take care of your package with the best jewels for the job? The Performance Package 4.0 from Manscaped is just the thing every guy needs for in their life to make each and every day just a little more special. The number one product in this package is the Lawnmower 4.0. This electric trimmer is designed to trim hair or loose skin. And get this, the trimmer advanced skin-safe technology reduces cuts and nicks on your delicate balls. It even has a 4000K LED spotlight so you can shave anywhere your heart desires. Did I mention it's waterproof too?
I like this, you can shave anywhere your heart desires. Does that mean I can shave any part of my body my heart desires, or I can shave when I am anywhere? Can I just stand in the middle of the library and just be shaving my pubes there and be like, Manscaped said it was okay?
I fear you might end up in a situation.
I end up in a lot of situations in my life, Steve.
This could put you in one that you really don't want.
This will put you on some kind of list.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I'm not. Let's put it this way: I'm not going to do it when I take the kids to the playground.
That's probably fair. Okay, yeah,
that's a bit risque.
Yeah, that's fair. There's times when you need to be responsible.
Yeah, you've got to think like an adult.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, just save it for the bathroom. So what is it? I'd like to propose making February the 13th a national holiday as a National Shave Your Balls Day. Who's with me? I think this one holiday that men and women can get behind.
I'm all about a National Shave Your Balls Day, Steve. I think that's a good message.
Yeah, I'm all for it. A bit of grooming day.
Yeah, quite.
We know the world is unified.
It's a nice pampering session.
Yeah, we can all have a spa day.
Exactly.
Just at home.
That's exactly it. Do your face mask at the same time.
I've got a couple upstairs.
Nice.
This old wrinkly face needs a bit of treatment. Oh dear. Ooh.
Punching the mic now, mate.
I punched the cord. Hang on. Let me put that back. I didn't realise it had fallen off. Where were we? This package also includes the Weed Whacker, nose and ear hair trimmer to whack all the worst of your weeds. Manscaped even throw in 2 free gifts. Their shed travel bag, I love that thing.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. We've spoken about that before.
Yeah, and anti-chafing boxers, briefs to keep the boys stored comfortably.
Yeah, and like we've said before, Steve, they're comfy pants.
They are very comfy. I'm going to have to get another pair because mine are on the cusp of... Actually, I've washed them that many times now. They're starting to shrink a little bit.
Oh, that's sad. I would advise going a size up with those every time.
They were a little snug anyway, but I like mine a little bit snug. But yeah, now I've washed them a couple of times. They're starting to just go... Well, I say they're going a bit snug. Maybe I must get fat.
Maybe it's all that Christmas weight, mate.
It could be. Holiday weight is still there. Oh dear. To complete the perfect package for your package are liquid formulations like the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Ball Toner. Start your day off with the deodorant for your boys, then stay cool all day with toner to keep them feeling your best all day and night. This formulation will also have your balls smelling like a king on the big day. I love that. That's great. And don't forget to smell good, not only around your balls, but all over. Made with our signature scent, the Manscaped Refined Cologne will complement your collection with smell perfection. Manscaped created their products for a night just like this and will make your V-Day date say, wow, great set of balls you have there.
I would absolutely love it if I was sleeping with, well, Cherie or anyone else for that matter in a universe that Cherie and I aren't together, and they said to me, wow, great set of balls you have there. I don't know what I'd do, mate. I'd be melting. I'd be like, oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I'd be flicking my hair. You know how to flirt.
I can just imagine you giving the dreadlocks a full on.
I wouldn't know what to say, mate.
I think I'd just probably stand there in stunned silence, like,
You're like, fuck, do you want a compliment back? What's going on here?
Yeah, exactly. Lost for words. I don't often get compliments.
Yeah, especially not like this.
Yeah, on my balls? Oh, dear. Well, I'm lost now.
So go to manscaped.com for our exclusive offer, 20% off and free shipping with the code MotoGP. Your balls and lady or man will thank you.
Oh, dear.
So, Steve, that's our message from Manscaped done. Before we dive right into the show, though, Steve, I need to apologise to Callum in the Facebook group. I've been a little bit lost in my own world over the last couple of weeks, and social media is always the first thing in my life to take a back seat when I get lost in my own little world, because I have quite a problem with social media anyway. So it's quite nice just to be like, nope, not doing it for a while. But via social media, and this is what I missed out on here, Callum invited Steve and I along to Ella Raceway for the mini bikes. Yeah. I didn't see this until the Monday. It took place on the Sunday, and I didn't reply at all, obviously, because it was too late. So, Callum, I'm so sorry, man. Steve and I had spoken about going, and
I even rang him.
Yeah, you rang him, you spoke to him, and then it just sort of snuck up on us.
I completely forgot. I read it.
Yeah.
I must apologise as well, because I did read it. I looked at it, and I was at work at the time. And shit was going down at work. And it went. And I even went back into the Facebook group and was posting other stuff.
Yeah.
But it just didn't register. It didn't click in there. I was like, shit, yeah, we've spoken about it in the past. I spoke to Ella about going.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, apologies for that, Callum. I really are. We're sorry that we didn't go, and sorry that we didn't reply at all. I promise we're not just avoiding you, mate.
We're not. When that was the last of the Winter Series races down there, so whenever they're back, we'll do our best. We'll come and see you.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the one where Hudson Kai Cooper was racing.
Yes.
And we know his dad is a member of the Facebook group and is active in that. So again, apologies to you guys that we couldn't make it there too.
Yes, we will try our best next time.
Now then, Steve, on to the news. Let's start this one at the top, Steve. I haven't seen a huge amount of what's going down in the MotoGP shakedown test that's been happening over the last 2 days, Monday, Tuesday. I know that Raul Fernandez finished top on day one. Yep. Maverick Vinales finished top on day two, as you informed me earlier. But then that confused me, didn't it? Because I was like, but Maverick Vinales isn't taking part, mate. This is a rookies and test riders test only. And I couldn't work out how the fuck Maverick Vinales had got in there until I walked into this house and you just went, concessions. It's like, oh, fucking concessions, of course.
It took me a while at work as well. I saw it earlier, and I was like wandering around work. I did a really stupid thing. Completely wandered the entire way. Well, I'm going to get myself in trouble here. Gav, don't say a word. Completely wandered around work, just flicking through my phone, just looking at like the news on the GP thing, and then I realised I'd done a whole lap of work.
Nice.
Just like everyone looking at me like, he's ballsy. I probably went right past the boss's office. I was like, yeah, fucking MotoGP testing, work shit, kick that out of the way.
Yeah, you're like, there's more important things going on in the world right now.
Yeah, boats, fuck you rich people.
I like watching my rich people go around on 2 wheels, not on boats.
Yeah. No, yeah, I've seen a little bit. I've been trying to keep up with it. Obviously, the shakedown test, it's not officially released any times. Or it's not as out there.
It's not like the full test that will be later this week.
No, this week's one you'll be able to, if you've got timing pass, video pass, you'll be able to get a lot more.
Yes.
So this one's a little bit harder to extract information out of, except what they...
We've just got to take what the journalists give us on this one.
Yeah, there's been a lot of photos about the bikes, a lot of like shots and videos of the stuff. Oh, God. Come on, stupid stroke.
I think it's probably the booze this time, mate. We can blame the stroke, but I'm going to go with the booze.
Yeah, it's probably the booze. The launch device.
Okay.
There's been a lot of shots of launch devices and stuff like that. Just general pictures of guys like Fabi DJ Antonio in the garage, who didn't take part in the second day.
Oh, did he not? How come?
Stomach bug.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
God, how fucking annoying would that be?
Yeah.
I'd be so irritated. I've been waiting all winter for this, and then on day 2 I get the shits and can't get involved.
Yeah,
God.
but you know what a stomach bug's like? You always feel a bit crap the day before as well.
Yeah, you're drained.
Kind of drained or tired.
And you'll be drained for 2 or 3 days afterwards.
Yeah, especially riding that thing.
Yeah, quite.
Hole in that beast around it. Yeah. Oh, you'd be gutted.
Oh, I bet he made a mess in his leathers on day 1.
Ooh.
On day 1. Oh, poor guy.
Can you imagine taking that in?
You'd be like, can I...
where's the washing machine at?
I'm really sorry, guys. Where's the dry cleaners, maybe?
I think at this point, through embarrassment, I'd probably just pull up at the skip.
Just chuck them in.
Yeah, just chuck them in.
Oh my God, if I saw a legit set of MotoGP leathers in a skip, I'd be headfirst into that skip to get them. Whether or not it had shit stains on it, I'd be taking them home, mate. I'd have no embarrassment of going to the dry cleaners and being like, can you do something about these? They're not going to ask questions. They'll be as embarrassed as me. I'd be taking them every time.
I'd probably pick them up, take a picture and put them back.
As long as you're not going to put them on the photo.
Well, say that. I'm used to dirty nappies in this
Yeah,
house.
exactly.
I'd probably be all right. I'd probably be okay.
Yeah, I have no qualms in that. Every day of the week. You can clean up a bit of shit, but those leathers will look great on your wall forever.
They would look good on the wall, actually. There's a nice big wall behind you, actually.
Exactly, you could fit them on there. Neither you or I could fit into MotoGP leathers, to be fair. No, there's no way we're fitting into them, so they're only a wall piece.
I think you'd be too tall. I'm probably a bit wide.
I think I'm probably also just a bit too chunky now, man. I just don't think...
You probably are, to be fair.
Neither one of us has got that 2% body fat going on.
No, I'm more like 22.
I don't know what a normal body fat percentage is, to be fair.
I think it's somewhere around the low teens.
Is it? Okay.
I haven't got a clue.
I feel like that feels low to me.
I really don't know. It depends on your height / age, doesn't it? There is that kind of graph that you can pick up at the doctors that will give you one versus the other, and it comes up in that ascending scale.
Yeah, well, that's more BMI, isn't it, rather than body fat percentage?
Is that not what your BMI is?
No, your BMI is your body mass index. It's just a way of determining your height and weight and determining what is healthy. But that really only works for the very average human being, because if you are a bit big, you come out as obese.
Is an average human being?
It will be in that kind of 50% point.
Yeah, I suppose, just...
Because if you're super muscly on the BMI, actually, you could come out as obese. But I've got body fat percentage here. For average Joe, we'll call that the acceptable level. We've got athlete, fitness, acceptable, and obese. So for acceptable, for men, anywhere between 18 and 25% is acceptable. For women, it's 25 to 31%. And then for athletes, you're looking at, for men, it's 6 to 13%. For women, 14 to 20%. But we see athletes, and with those pictures of Garrett Gerloff and stuff in the Facebook
that boy had
that
nothing
guy is
on
in low single-digit body fat percentage.
But is that healthy?
I think it's something you can, if you do it well and you do it properly and you're doing it with a nutritionist and you're paying attention to it, you can stay healthy doing that, but you can probably only do it for the peak of your fitness, for the peak of your career. If you tried to do that until you were 60, you really suffer. At some point, you've got to let it go. But probably while you're in your very late teens through to your 30s, you probably can get away with it and it's fine. And you're probably healthier than you've ever been. But after that, I think it would probably start to have an effect.
Yeah. I mean, I used to be a real skinny little thing. Weighed like 9 stone, no fat at all, all sinew. I was probably low ratio then.
Certainly.
But like 40 years old and a bit fat.
But not really fat, just a bit soft.
Comfort.
Comfort, exactly. Comfortable. That's what we all need, Steve.
It's all for comfort.
And I say a bit soft as someone who's also a bit soft.
So. I was going to say, neither of us are.
We're not anywhere near the athlete level of life, Steve. I like beer too much, so.
I like pies.
There you go, beer and pies. It's what ruins,
or just food in general.
Ruins every great athlete, Steve. We could have been the greatest, but beer and pies, mate.
Beer and pies
ruined us all.
And fags
and the booze. Yeah, it's just all
just general.
Right, let's not get stuck in that, Steve. Let's move on, shall we?
Let's do it.
KTM team launch, Steve. We saw both the factory and satellite KTM teams launch their livery last week, or was it this week? I can't remember now.
We'll go the weekend. Let's hit it in the middle. We'll say the weekend.
It was on January 27th, so it was last week.
Last week.
We saw this. It was a wonderful launch, Steve.
It was
short and sweet.
That's what we want. To the point, direct. Here's our stuff. This is what we're bringing. See ya.
Theirs was the same last year, wasn't it? It was very short and sweet. Because I just remember being like, oh my God, look at that Tech 3 bike. What the fuck is that? And then that was it. But it was 5 minutes. It was just 5 minutes of cool shots.
You don't need all this bullshit.
No, I like it a lot.
Yeah, I don't care what you did last year. I don't need to see that. I want to see this year.
Yes.
These guys just nailed it. This is really, really good. To the point, honest, done.
That's exactly it. Has anything changed on those bikes, though? The launch was great, but has anything changed on the liveries?
No, I looked into this. I did some digging into this because I was sure nothing changed.
Okay.
On my phone, I looked at it on my phone, right? I kept everything exactly the same. Just set my phone to one brightness, scroll through everything. All I can find is just a shading difference.
Okay.
In just all the colouring.
Okay.
The darks are just a shade darker. The lights are maybe just a little bit lighter.
Okay, so there is a slight change. I know I was listening to Moto Week on my way here, and he was saying that, and I hadn't noticed this at all, but he said on the Red Bull KTM bikes, the background of the Red Bull logo has changed. Yep. I think it's white now rather than black, just to make the Red Bull logo pop more. Out of it. But I hadn't spotted that at all. So this is I haven't had time to look at it since then. This is just what Wilson was saying on that show, but he's pretty on point with most of the stuff he says.
It is minimalistic. But that's all you need.
Well, it's just a wonderful livery, isn't it? The Tech 3 livery is just a dream, and I love it. And amazing. We've seen in Formula 1, Red Bull get a livery. That doesn't fucking change.
No, that stays.
Yeah.
And I really like that. Like the HRC stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Part of me thinks, especially with HRC and Repsol, I'm like, it's been so long now that it's still cool. It's now cool again that they're sticking with the same livery. And I feel the same way about Red Bull in Formula 1. It's been like that for so long now. I like that they don't change it. But because the Red Bull KTM is still relatively new to the MotoGP world, I'm still a bit like, oh, come on, you haven't reached a decade of this livery yet, so I'm not going to get excited about the same livery. I kind of want them to change it. But as soon as they hit like 10, 12 years of this livery, I'll be like, yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I like the little subtle changes. I do. When I see something I like the Tech 3 bikes, the Red Bull KTM's, I don't want it to change.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I go through it every year thinking if you massively change this, you're going to spoil it.
Yeah.
And then we come out with just a little tweak. And it's just enough to go, ooh.
Yes, exactly.
Just keep you, it's like when they relaunch your favourite pair of shoes. And it's just a tiny bit of stitch. It's different.
Triple stitch now rather than double stitched.
And it's 20 quid more.
Yeah.
And you just
the Adidas logo is actually 30% bigger now. So
yeah. It's embroidered, not stuck on.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I'm going to buy them anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just little bits.
But sometimes the radical overhauls work, don't they? Because we saw it actually, I think, when Tech 3 swapped to the Red Bull Organics KTM.
Yes.
Like, that was a really nice livery and a huge change.
That was.
And then the huge change again to the KTM one has really worked for them.
Tech
3 have always been very good, to be fair, with liveries. The Monster Tech 3 livery was always good.
Yeah, that is true. Tech 3 are just one of those annoying things where everything they do is just pretty good.
Yeah, it's just pretty good.
Yeah, sickening, really.
Yeah, that's fair.
The whole setup is just on point.
Yes, exactly. But very good launch. I loved it. I think it was fantastic. The 5 minutes, short and sweet, none of the talking bollocks. It was just pretty much flashing shots of their bike and some nice music, and it felt a bit ravey, and I was getting into it.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I apologise if you can hear some banging in the background.
I don't think the mics are picking it up. I have been checking. I think we're okay, but we do have Spawn of Steve running around in the other room.
Yeah, Brody has decided sleep is not an option tonight.
Yeah, not feeling that. He's like, there's something going on down here. You've got that weirdo here again that's always drinking. Let's go see what he's about.
The one that looks slightly homeless. Yeah. With the dreadlocks is back. And he's brought more alcohol. Not that I let my kid have it.
No, that's why it's up high, mate. Can't be trusting. I'm not very good at sharing, actually, to be fair. So
no, well, you do share with me.
I share with you, yeah. I buy with the intention of sharing with you, though. If I'd bought with the intention of it just being for me and you asked for one, I'm like, fucking prick, all right, I can have one. But as I bought it with the intention, I'm very willing to share.
I appreciate that. But he is down, so he is contained in the other room. Sarah's trying to do her best to stop him running in and beating the hell out of Tim's laptop.
Yeah, it's been quite a balancing act to try and defend it against him for the last 20 minutes or something.
Yeah, just before we start recording, he came down. So apologies if you could hear any banging in the background. He's just beating the hell out of his toy kitchen.
That's fine. It's what it is, Steve. We deal with it. That's fine. Next bit of news then, Steve.
Excited for this bit.
Marc Marquez is finally deemed fit to take part in the Sepang test.
Oh, mate.
It's official, man. It's felt pretty inevitable for the past couple of weeks, but it hadn't been officially announced. Now it has been. Marquez will be riding his Honda 213V
RCV 17 Trills 14.
RCV 2.
No,
RC. RC213V?
He's riding his bike.
Or is it just the R2? It's the RC8, not the KT. It doesn't matter. He's riding his Honda MotoGP machine in anger at the Sepang test.
I'm very stoked for this. I made my feelings quite clear at the start of the season. I felt like the doctors were going to have all sway on his future career.
Yeah.
So for him to come back, I am still quite concerned for his future if he's crashy.
I had got to a point with Marc Marquez where he's got so many people that he's paying a lot of money to that are giving him advice. And I'm sure a lot of them are being like, Mark, mate, don't keep crashing. You're really going to hurt yourself. So he's paying for very good advice that I'm sure he's partially ignoring. Which means I now feel no guilt with enjoying him on the track because he's there, he knows the risk, he's there, he's putting himself on the line. It's all on him. I ain't pressuring him to doing it. And I felt a bit concerned about him in the past, but I'm sort of over that now. Maybe when he was like 21, just coming in, you'd be like, okay, chill.
Yeah,
he's been in MotoGP for a long time now. He knows the risks.
Christ, what, 9 years?
Yeah, when did he arrive?
2013.
Did he win in 2013?
Yeah.
Won in 2013, so this will be his 9th MotoGP season.
Christ, that's gone quick. But anyway, yes, he will be there. I did see a Instagram shot of him earlier, stood in an airport.
10th MotoGP season. 10th MotoGP season.
Yeah, sorry. I did see an Instagram shot of him earlier, stood in an airport. Sorry, excuse me. Holding a suitcase, looking very smug.
With his right arm.
With his right arm.
Oh, he's getting them reps in.
Right arm? I'm sure it was right arm. Could have been left. 50-50.
It is a 50-50, Steve. Well done.
That depends how many more of that.
You're like, fuck, he's got fucking 4 arms. He's like Doc Ock over here. What's happening? 4 suitcases as well. Jesus.
Does not travel light, this boy. Like my ex. But yeah, he's back. So all good news. All we can hope is he doesn't bin it in the preseason.
Oh, Steve, don't even touch some wood, man. Like we don't want to be tainting or cursing him like that.
I know, but this is what it's going to boil down to now. It's going to be that crash, that one big one where he's chasing something.
He's not going to do that during the test. He's not going to be chasing lap time during the test. It's all about getting this new bike. So this is a brand new bike as well, isn't it? So it's all about getting comfortable on this new bike. It's the first race that's going to be the risk.
Yes. Yeah. Come Qatar, whatever he does, everyone's going to be biting their nails down to the bone. It's just going to be nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it will be.
But all things aside, he's back. He's recovered from another career-ending injuries again.
Yeah, the man's doing pretty good with the tally of career-ending injuries that he's beaten at this point.
Well, what is it? It's twice for this double vision.
Twice for this double vision.
Or the shoulder, the arm.
The shoulder probably should have been a career ender. The broken arm mixed with the shoulder, so that's at least 4 at this point.
So let's settle on 4.
4 at least, but then you just look at the size of some of his crashes, man, as well, when you're like, that's the crash that would end my life, let alone career.
Yeah,
and I
know these guys have runoff. It's not like riding on the road like we do, but bloody hell.
I still remember. Do you remember that crash? I think it was in his first year, and it was caught on track CCTV.
Oh, was it the one where he went down the pit wall?
It wasn't a pit wall. I think
he was on the track. He was on the grass, wasn't he?
He was on the. Yeah, I don't think it was the pit straight. I think it was like the back straight. Something like Mazzano. Like I can't remember where it was, but it was huge.
It was something like that. It was insane, and he just like dusts himself off.
213 mile an hour crash or something. I think he was doing 200 plus mile an hour when he bailed.
Pinned.
Yeah, and
he was absolutely pinned. But then, wipes the bit of turf out of his shoulder protector. It's like, what the fuck?
That's one of those moments, though. And we've all sort of had that moment, not that moment, but we've all had a moment in which you do something embarrassing in front of everyone, you fall over and you hurt yourself, and you really do hurt yourself. And you're like, walk it off. No one can know how much this hurts. And as soon as no one's looking or you're behind a closed door, you just curl up on the floor like, oh my God, this hurts so much. I bet that's one of those moments.
Yeah, I've often wondered about that. Because if one of these guys has a crash, it always cuts to them getting back to the pit, just between their lorries. And sometimes they go straight back upstairs into their trailer.
That's the moment they curl up and just go feet on.
I wonder how many times they've slammed that door and then just dropped to the floor. Just picked up the favourite teddy.
Yeah, a lot, mate,
and just cry themselves to sleep.
That would be me every time.
Always, mate. Yeah. Always. I do it for them.
You're like, no!
Not again. I'm upstairs. I've got Enzo's favourite teddy. I'm like, no. Giving it a big squeeze.
But thankfully, it's not like it doesn't start singing at you or anything when you start squeezing it. No.
Oh, some of them do. You have to pick the right one.
You go like, right, I can't touch that one, not that one. This is the safe one.
We've still got all a bit massive tangent here, but you can get the Century Teddies.
What's a Century Teddy?
Some have got like just bits all over it. So like a foot, the flat foot will have a mirror on it. Some bits of it will crinkle.
Oh, are these like the kids, just like the ones that are just for their sensory development?
Yeah.
So just a lot of colours and noises.
Yeah,
and
just pick this bit. It's all hand eye. Get this bit to that bit. And it all gets the mind going. You have to make sure you pick the right one. So if I pick one of those up, it wakes you right up.
That's fair. That's the kind of teddy, though, that if you'd had a bit too much, like, well, not that you would, but I don't know where I'm going with this, Steve. I was going to go on a tangent about taking hallucinogenics and seeing a scary teddy, and it's freaking you out, and then I'm like, this isn't relevant. Steve's obviously not taking hallucinogenics around his kids' teddies.
Well, no, I took too many painkillers when I had that toothache.
Oh, that's a good point. That might do a similar trick, to be fair.
Yes, yeah, I did pop a few of the bad stuff because I didn't realise what I was taking.
Oh, good.
I just dived into the cupboard. There was stuff that Sarah was given for her cancer.
Oh, okay.
I just dived into the cupboard, thought they were cocodamol, and just popped like 5.
To be fair, even pop 5.
Well, that's a lot of pain.
5 cocodamol, mate. That's fucking liver damage waiting to happen. I like the thing that you're just like, oh, there's painkillers in here. I'll just take them and see what happens. I admire that. That's my kind of attitude to life. But I'd be like, oh, these get me wasted. Whereas you're just like, please just stop the pain.
Yeah. I just wanted the pain gone. I was like 4 or 5 of these will do it. And I was sort of, whoa.
4 or 5 seems like an excessive dose of anything unless the doctor has said to you, take 5 of these.
Well, they always tell you to take like double. You get antibiotics, always like, take 2 now. And you read the label, it's like, don't ever exceed the dosage. I'm like, why has he just told me to take 2?
I think with antibiotics, it's because it's just
that kickstart.
Yeah, it's the kickstart, and a lot of the time, unless you're on a properly potent antibiotic, really all it's going to do is give you the shit to make you feel a bit sick.
Yeah.
If you're on a really potent antibiotic, that's a bad move. But
when I had that pneumonia, they gave me something, and they were like, make sure there's someone around you.
Whoa.
Yeah, for I think it was 48 hours.
That's a good drug. That's the kind of one where, you know, when you take drugs the doctor's giving you and they're always just like, do not drink on this. And you're like, yeah, of course, I'm not going to drink on this. I remember I had one once where they're like, do not drink on this. I was like, of course, no, I'm not going to. They were like, no, seriously, do not drink on this. And I was like, oh, okay.
You're
and
serious?
I thought that was pretty bad. But if a doctor had said to me, you need to, after you've taken this, just make sure you've got people around you for 48 hours. I'd be like, what the fuck are you giving me? What?
This is legal?
Yeah, quite. That's mad, man.
Yeah, that was, I don't know what it was, but it was all because, like, when was I had that pneumonia? We did a podcast and I was still in bed.
Yeah, so I'd been up in
2 years
Scotland.
ago.
It was Skyping, wasn't it?
Yeah, my dad was still alive, so it would have been 2019. Yeah, summer of 2019.
2019. So that was my first year up in Scotland.
Yeah. I remember, I don't really remember anything about it.
Just the pneumonia just wiped you out, man.
Yeah, just being upstairs and like massive raging temperature in like 41 point something.
And that's when my internet was shit, so we could only do it via audio. We couldn't have video.
I remember sitting on the bed just like, yeah, I'm half dead here, Tim.
Yeah.
Like, window open, but I had sepsis as well.
Yeah, that was a rough time for you, man.
That was
I'd
harsh.
sort of forgotten about all that.
Yeah, that was really harsh. I remember the only bit I really remember is being at work and I felt absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And I sat down from a 3 o'clock break and I literally, it was this chair. I had this chair at work and I could not get off it. I was fucked.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
I had to walk home 1.5 miles and then just collapsed on Enzo's bedroom floor. And then was in hospital on the Sunday.
Jeez. I'd almost completely forgotten about that period there.
That was nasty. I don't recommend anyone ever get pneumonia.
So, moral of the story, avoid pneumonia.
And when the doctors tell you to take the pills, take them.
Take the pills. Yeah, take the pills. Anyway, moving on, Steve.
From that massive tangent.
Exactly. Steve, this next news item is in relation to some stuff we said about the Indonesian race and the test and stuff. I'd been getting news into my inbox that is to do with my job, saying that, we're not really sure this race can go ahead with the quarantines and stuff and the testing. It's not really going to work. Well, it looks like the tourism minister was saying that and the sports minister, actually, I think it was both of them, were saying this while also not meaning this. So it looks like it is all going to go ahead. But the new news coming out from the Indonesian government here, because I think maybe we just need to get used to the news being different every week with no relation to last week's news at all.
I don't think anyone's got any clue what's going on at the minute.
Nah.
Things are moving so fast, COVID related.
Yeah, it's just all up in the air. But the Indonesian government, and particularly the tourism minister, is now saying that there might not be enough accommodation near the circuit. They're saying that they're sort of predicting that maybe if it goes ahead as a full race weekend with full fans, there might only be enough accommodation to house 50% of them nearby.
That's nuts. But you know the solution? Ready? Just chuck some more people out of the house.
Ooh,
nasty.
I went there. It's quite nice for you to go there rather than me for once, though.
Yes, I was thinking exactly the same thing. But they've already done it.
Well, and I don't know what the answer is there. Is it just people are camping now? Let's be fair. Is this wet season in Indonesia?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. I'll have to check. The rainy season is very different around all of Southeast Asia. It happens at different times in different places, so I don't actually know. It shouldn't be the wet season, I
can't imagine having an event of this scale.
Not in the middle of the wet season.
No,
it might be on
that would just be lunacy.
Yeah.
Because we've all seen what their kind of wet season could be like.
Quite.
And logically, if we do get a monsoon out there, we're not going to have any racing.
No, you won't have racing at all.
No, so taking that risk, if you did have it in the middle of the season, would just be lunacy. So, to house the fans, if you're going to have it during the dry season, camping.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's massive camping option.
Yeah, I think that's probably the answer. It's a decent, very good climate over there. You really wouldn't want to be in your tent after 7 o'clock in the morning. That'd be like a fucking oven, mate.
Fucking bacon. But in terms of housing, let's assume that 50% is only going to house 50% of the paddock. You're just going to have to.
It's not 50% of the paddock. It's going to be 50% of the fans and of the attendees to the race. So the paddock will all have their hotels and stuff, all their motorhomes and shit there. It will just be the fans and the attendees.
So realistically, all you could do is lay on more grounds for camping. I mean, unless you're going to insanely quickly knock up a hotel somewhere near the track or on the track, camping is the way forward.
Yes.
And like you said, it's nice weather. Yes, it's going to be humid as hell. But offering some version of a camping site nearby, I don't know how safe it is over there. I assume it's roughly safe.
It'll be fine. There will be, like much of the developing world, there will... Again, Indonesia is not really the developing world across the board. Some parts of the country are very poor. Other parts are very wealthy.
Where you are, doesn't it?
Yeah, it certainly does. It depends which island you're on. I think it's 7,000 islands make up
it's a
Indonesia.
Nuts amount,
it's
isn't
huge. It? Yeah, and the landmass of the country is beyond massive. It's one of the top 10 largest countries in the world.
It's big. It's just very patchwork Adams.
Yeah, it's all over the show. Yeah. I think if you include the water that can be included in the country's landmass, they would be the largest country in the world.
Really? I didn't realise that. That's insane.
So it looks like wet season for most of the country, including Java and Bali, is November to March. And we know that Mandalika, the race circuit, it will be, I think it's just off the coast of Java. So it's going to be the same kind of November to March. So we will be getting there the beginning of the dry season.
So we should be all right then.
It should be fine.
So, yeah, unless, I don't know what the answer to this one is, unless they're going to, like I said, chuck some more people out the homes to expand the track. I don't know.
No, I imagine if this race takes off, though, there will be a big industry built up around it. So
it will be a draw.
This is a part of the world where there's huge amounts of development all the time at the moment.
Yeah,
so other stuff will be getting there.
Yeah, just reduce capacity for this year, but obviously they want the money, so tough call.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens. It might not even be at full capacity yet. I don't really know what the ticket situation is like, to be fair.
I have absolutely no idea. We don't know what COVID situation, what variant's going to be out by then. Whatever they cook up next.
Yeah, that's it.
We'll have to just wait and see. But, like you say, look, it's going to go ahead.
Yes.
Just how full it's going to be.
Yeah, we'll wait and see on that one.
We'll just have to see how it goes.
Quite. Next piece then, MotoGP news, Steve. We had an announcement from Aprilia about their bike launch.
Did we?
Yep. On February the 10th, we are going to see Aprilia's launch.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
So this is going to appear after the series of Honda launches. We also today got a sneak peek of the Ducati launch.
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
Yeah. I don't really know what we saw there. Was that the new bike we saw in that video clip?
I don't know.
No, I'm not
we
sure
looked at it before we started recording.
Yeah.
Just through the MotoGP site. And it was just a bit like, well, you've given us a little video of all snippets, flash shots, and a walk around of the bike.
Which I have to say looks a lot like last year's bike.
It does. I'm wondering if that is just a little bit to get you thinking, because at the start of it, it's very flashpoint.
Yes.
It's a shot of the front, it's a shot of the back, it's a shot of the wheel. Is it that to just draw people in?
I think it's just a teaser, but I want to know whether I'm seeing a teaser of the new bike or whether that's the old bike.
It's almost one of those things where if it is a teaser, because they show so much of it towards the end of the clip, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Yeah.
If all of a sudden you're just chucking out the same old thing, I'm like, well, all right, you've just not bothered. But why do it? I don't know. It's just very, very, very strange.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either, but we'll find out. So. I mean, the official Ducati launch is on the 7th, so that's next Monday.
Yep.
So we will have seen it before we record the next show.
Yeah, hopefully.
We will also have, in that time, seen the Pramac Ducati launch, which will be on Wednesday the 2nd. So tomorrow for us, Steve. Today, if you're listening on day of release, and yesterday or before that if you're listening after. And then February the 4th, we're going to have a Monster Yamaha and Suzuki X-Star launches. So we've got a lot of launches between us recording now, Steve, and next week.
There is. There's a lot going on. It's going to be a busy week.
Yeah, we'll have 4 more teams to talk about, in fact. And actually, the Repsol Honda launch is on the 8th, so a week from now, so we'll have seen that too. So it'll be 5 team launches to talk about next week.
Oh, my word. Please be good.
Yeah, please.
Because if they're shy, we're just going to bang on about it being shy.
Yeah. Following that, the LCR Honda launch is going to be on the 9th. February the 10th is the Aprilia launch. And then we're still waiting on the Mooney VR46 launch date.
They're dragging their heels.
Yeah.
They really are. Unless they're going to go for the absolute spectacular, and they're just waiting to see what I come up with.
Yes.
Which I really hope so.
They're like, fuck, Steve hasn't made any suggestions yet. We need to...
No, we need to sort this out.
We need to get hold of him now.
Yeah. Email tomorrow, Steve.
Yeah.
Dear Valet.
You've got his personal number this whole time. I'll be fuming.
Speed dial.
So, Steve, one final piece of news before we take a quick break. Let's take a quick break now, and then we'll get to the final bit of news, eh?
Let's do that.
Okay, bear with us one moment, guys. We will be right back with you. Thank you for bearing with us there, guys. We are back, fresh beers in hand.
Yes.
Look at that, both nailed it. There's no silly fat fingers getting in the way of that one, my friend.
Double whammy.
Happy days. Apologies there, guys. That was an impromptu break. We meant to get the last news segment out of the way, but then Spawn of Steve called, so we took a quick break. That's our break for the show. We're back, well, assuming that there's not more desperate calls for help going on.
As long as he doesn't break in again, we'll be fine.
Exactly. So all should be good now. The usual jobs were done, guys. The beer was got, the bladders were emptied, and Steve, I do have to say, your toilet roll is incredible.
Do you like that?
I like it. I even took a photo of it.
It's Peppa Pig.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of a patterned toilet roll. I'm a big fan, mate. So 10 out of 10 for that one.
You like that one? She does get a bit shit-faced.
Wait.
You like that one?
Jeez, you spent too long thinking about that.
I know. It's been away for days. I've been waiting for it.
You're like, I can't wait till Tim comments on the bog roll.
Literally. Sarah brought it home the other day. She's like, look, Peppa Pig bog roll. It's like, Tim will love that.
And everyone was correct. I did love that a lot.
Yeah, the comedy stuff you have in your house when you have kids.
Anyway, Steve, our last news point to get to here before we introduce Darren Binder to the world.
Yes.
And this is Ana Carrasco making a return to Moto3.
She's back.
It's exciting, man.
Yeah, I'm glad she's back as well.
I'm super stoked about it. For anyone who's maybe not been involved in the MotoGP world for a little while, Ana Carrasco famously won the World Supersport title in 2018, becoming the first ever female motorcycling world champion on asphalt, I believe. From what I understand, reading articles recently, there has been female motorcycle world champions on other in other disciplines that are off-road, be it trials, motocross, you know, in the world of off-road racing. But yeah, Ana Carrasco was the first asphalt female motorcycle world champion.
Yes.
She is, and nothing was confirmed when we were going to be writing this, but it has been confirmed now. I've seen it. Yep. It's all official now.
It's all out there in the ether.
She will be riding for the BOESKX team aboard KTM machinery.
Yes. Yeah, she's going to be back.
She's going to be back, man. So this isn't her first foray into Moto3, like we were saying. Nope. She competed in the class between 2013 and 2016. Only a handful of points finishes, though, in that time. So it's not the stellar career that you'd hope for. Her best result was a top 10 in Valencia.
Yeah, gained a hell of a wealth of knowledge since then.
Well, she's been a world champion since then.
Yes.
And has taken multiple race wins and multiple podiums in World Supersport.
Yeah.
World Supersport 300, that is, not the Supersport 600 class.
Yeah. So she's coming back with a lot more experience behind her. Hopefully she could translate that into Moto3 wins.
Fingers crossed. The thing is with the BOE SKX team is I don't ever remember seeing them running really well anyway, which does worry me a little.
Yeah, but it's a way back in.
Yeah.
It's a foothold in the door.
Certainly.
All she's got to do is just have a few good results. Look at what's happened with the guys we've spoken about so far.
That's a fair point. Yep.
Yeah.
You can have a pretty torrid carear up until a point, but as soon as you get a good few seasons under your belt, happy days. I don't actually know how old she is, do you?
I have absolutely no idea.
Born 97, so she's 24.
Yeah. So, still young. There's time.
Yeah, she's not going to be the oldest person in the Moto3 class at all.
No, not by a long shot. So, yeah, good to have her back.
Yeah, exactly. And last time she competed in Moto3, she was also competing alongside Maria Herrera. So there were two women at the time, both competing in Moto3.
Yep.
Now, this is probably me showing my naivety here, but are they the only two women that have competed in the Grand Prix stage? It's the only two I know of that have competed in Grand Prix racing. But I've been very open about this in the past. I've only been watching Grand Prix racing since 2011, so I've only got a decade or so.
I think they could be. Don't quote us, but I think they could be.
Yeah, if anyone does know, please do get in touch and let us
definitely.
know.
Off the top of my head, I would say yes. But I'm not confident.
No, that's how I feel about it. I'm like, maybe there has been women in the past before the smaller classes were televised as much as they are now, or even earlier than that potentially. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm sure there has been other women competing in the Grand Prix stage, but I don't know of any. Not in the last decade, certainly, but I don't know how long before that. Oh yeah, sorry, I sat in your chair and during the break, I sat in your chair, Steve, and I pulled out the thing to let me lean it back further. I just watched you lean back and just had this look of terror on your face.
I thought I was going over. I was like, Jesus.
Steve, for reference here, is in one of those office chairs that, you've got the up and down pull handle, but you can also pull it out, which means you can tilt it back further. So I did that because I'm a bit lazy and I don't like sitting up straight. So I was like, if I can just find any way to slouch, I'm going to do it. But I click it back.
There. Jesus. Oh dear.
So it's going to be really good to see Anna Carrasco back. It's going to be really, really good to see a woman
it's gonna be nice.
competing back in the Grand Prix paddock, because whether you like it or not, there seems to be some intrinsic sexism built into MotoGP. And I really hope Anna can come to the class full of experience and just come in and dominate. Maybe not dominate, but take race wins, take podiums. Maybe challenge for the title would be amazing.
That would be lovely.
And just sort of show that women are more than capable of competing in this sport. Because I have a firm belief that women are more than capable of competing with men when it comes to motorcycle racing stuff. This isn't boxing. This isn't football. It's not rugby. Like it's a very athletic sport. Don't get me wrong.
Oh God, yeah.
But there is no reason I can tell you why women cannot compete against men and be successful at all. It's just this intrinsic sexism that is built into MotoGP. And I'm going to get on my high horse here, Steve, because I've written a long rant about this in the notes here. So I think I'm just going to roll with it and
go for it.
It shouldn't upset anyone. And if it does, maybe the problem's with you. But we'll go with it here. So before anyone can tell me that the intrinsic sexism doesn't actually exist in MotoGP, I have a quote from Valentino Rossi here, who is obviously the GOAT. Well, for many people is the GOAT. And in my head, he's probably still the GOAT. But he had this to say, and this was quoted on therace.com. So I'll begin the quote. When Francesca told me we were going to have a daughter, I replied that it was good news because we won't have to decide whether to let her race or not. She surely won't race in MotoGP, and I'm happy. And I'm not saying Valentino Rossi is a sexist man here. I'm also not saying he's not a sexist man. I don't know the guy here. We only know his public persona, but I don't think he is. He's never come across that way to me at all. But he clearly has this belief that his daughter will not race in MotoGP. And why is this? Are these his own beliefs that women aren't good enough or that they don't want to get involved? Or is he looking at a sport and seeing something getting in the way of women succeeding? Or is this just a problem that's built intrinsically into the sport where whether you realise it or not, we are all assuming that women can't succeed? And maybe we're part of the problem by getting excited about the fact that a woman is coming back to the sport. Maybe it's the making a big deal of this might be part of that problem.
I think, I don't know, it's such a tough one. It really is. I don't like the quote.
I don't like the quote at all, and I hadn't heard it at the time. It's only as I was reading back through the Anna Carrasco stuff that I saw this quote, and it kind of hit me pretty hard, actually.
I don't like it because I don't agree with it. I don't like the thought of someone, you're only here once, and I don't like the thought of someone's path being prematurely mapped out for them.
Yeah.
We're all here to choose how we ride this pony.
And before this girl's even born,
her
father, being Valentino Rossi, the greatest of all time, the 9-time world champ, is saying that she's not going to want to race because she's a girl.
No. From a father's point of view, I completely get that you don't want your kids to do what you do.
And especially when what you do is a very dangerous sport. I'm not a parent, but every time one of my younger siblings passes a driving test, I know from my own experience that people crash cars a lot. People do crash cars. Yeah. And I always get a little bit scared whenever one of my siblings starts driving because I'm like, oh, shit, this is scary.
Yeah, I get that.
So I can't imagine that magnified out to the feeling of responsibility as a parent, and then not only is it driving, but it's actually riding a motorcycle at ridiculous speeds in a sport in which people do die regularly doing.
Oh yeah. I spent most of my early life with my dad telling me, don't do what I do. He was a builder. He drove diggers. He was a flint napper.
Was your dad a Stone Age man?
You never heard of flint napping?
Well, I have, but only making arrows and shit so you could hunt mammoths.
If you go to some of the coastal villages and you see the halved flints.
Oh, on the houses and stuff.
Yeah, that is flint napping.
Oh, okay.
So I spent a lot of my early years doing that.
Okay.
Just literally heating them up, grading them, and just hitting them, splitting them in two.
Okay. I always equate flint napping with just making axes and making the spears and stuff and the arrows.
I think it's the same name for doing that.
Okay.
But yeah, I was told, don't do what I do. Don't work with your hands. And I was always like, Dad, shut up. I'll do what I want.
Yeah.
And now I completely get it. I don't want these two upstairs to follow my footstep and build boats because I know how I come home each day.
Yeah, exactly.
So I kind of get it from that point of view. I don't, he doesn't want his daughter to follow in that kind of lifestyle or have that kind of pressure. I get that side of it. But I just don't like the thought of someone being dictated to what they should and shouldn't do.
Yeah, because he's not saying there that I would forbid her from racing. It's just she surely won't want to race in MotoGP.
It's a full stop.
And I'm not getting angry at Rossi for this. I just want to be clear about this. But I'm using this as an example to illustrate that there clearly is some level of sexism within the sport as a whole that is causing this problem.
There seems to be. Let's just say, for instance, he's one person on the grid of, say, 24. 50% of that grid share the same ethos, mentality, then we're surely doomed.
Yeah, well, even that, at that point, to be fair, the riders, unless you are a Valentino Rossi, you get very little sway of who's your teammate and stuff.
Yeah.
So this is something that's going down. It's more than the riders here. This is clearly the riders, it's the teams, it's the people who make decisions of who's going to ride for their teams. It's everything within the sport. There's clearly gender roles within the sport that are being shown by a quote like this, where it's like women are capable of being umbrella girls or capable of being communication directors and working within management structures, but maybe too dainty to be riding on a 300 horsepower motorcycle.
Yeah. This is where I think there's a lot of pressure going to be piled on people like Anna Carrasco.
Yeah, and
we need that breakout woman.
Yeah, and this is what I mean earlier by maybe we're part of the problem here because we're piling this pressure on her, hoping she will be. And if you look at her previous Moto3 results, to be fair, they ain't stellar.
No, they're not stellar. And, if we rock up and we're like, come on, girl, you can do this, you've got this, that voice is going to be niggling in the back of her head all the time.
I'm already looking at getting a Ride Like a Girl sticker for my laptop case here.
Absolutely. I don't know. we are getting to that point. We're in a world now where you can do whatever you want and be whatever you want.
Certainly, but it's time for people to start accepting that. Yeah. Because we I feel like I don't want to say it's a generational thing, because I don't think that's true. I think there's dickheads of every age.
Oh, God,
yeah. But I do feel like it's becoming a more liberal world, and maybe the younger generation are just a bit more liberal than the previous generation.
Yeah,
maybe that is true. Millennials are probably a bit more liberal than Gen Xers, and Gen Zs are probably a bit more liberal than millennials. Like that's probably fair to say. At the moment, that's the direction the world's trending in. So we are in a place where you can become anything. But I was reading through the comments thread on the race, Steve, which I know I often joke about, don't read the comments for the dicks. To be fair, generally, when you read the comments on the race, it's usually quite a good either discussion or debate or just conversation about motorsport. It normally is very good. It's normally very well educated and very on point. And it's the one place where I actively scroll to the comments afterwards to see what other people are saying. Because a lot of time people are saying good shit in there, and it's stuff that you haven't considered. Yeah, I do agree with that. Every now and again, you'll get people sniping at the authors. You'll get Valentin's a twat, he doesn't know what he's saying. Simon's a dick, he doesn't know what he's saying. But they're kind of few and far between. Generally, most of the time the conversation is good. But the comments thread around this one article about Ana Carrasco was not great at all. The thread devolved into name-calling. It was people upset that Ana Carrasco was getting another chance. And there was a lot of shouting, Steve, about the woke liberal agenda. Like, it was just coming across all the time. And it's the same toxic bullshit we see all the time when it comes to this men versus women, this toxic masculinity. It's that same bullshit. And I'm quite upset that it's quite so apparent in MotoGP. I didn't think, actually, it was this apparent in MotoGP. But it's becoming apparent that there is certainly an issue with sexism. The controversy, though, this is a little bit annoying, but the controversy doesn't actually end at the fact she's a woman appearing in the sport. A lot of the toxic bullshit that we're reading, it does bring up a reasonable, if not easy to refute, argument that someone has actually had to lose their seat for Ana Carrasco to get this shot. And David Salvador, sadly, is the victim of this. He has been dropped by the team to make room for Ana Carrasco. We're not really sure why it's happened, but reportedly it's to do with money.
Right.
And this ain't great, but it sucks. It really, really sucks, to be fair, to be David Salvador right now and to be losing your ride just a few weeks before the season starts. You've got no time to find another ride. All the seats are taken. There's no plan B here. But people lose their seats like this all the time. They always lose their seats because of money. We saw it. Karel Abraham is a prime example.
Oh, God, yeah.
Well, not even money. To be fair, he had all of the money, but Avintia still wanted Johan Zarco instead. So just ripped his contract up, threw it out, Zarco came in.
Yes.
So we've sort of seen this over and over again anyway, and people didn't get upset about it then. People are really upset about it this time, and the only difference I can see is that one of those riders is a woman. Is the only difference.
Yeah.
The person coming in is a woman. That's the only difference I can see. And maybe you feel differently about it than me. But
a big part of me, and this is me not wanting to dilute the love I have for the sport, wants to kind of ignore it.
Yeah.
Because I love the sport.
I'm with you.
And me as a person, I don't give a shit if it's 50% women, 50% men out there racing. I don't care. Because I know women can come in and boss it just as much as the lads. Mm-hmm. It's just we're now entering that phase where women are going to start coming into the sport.
Certainly.
And the old dinosaurs have got to move aside and accept that this is going to happen.
The world's changing, and the world is changing, and it's not just in MotoGP, it's not just in sport, it's across the board.
Yeah. As a whole, it is the goalposts are now moving.
Yes, certainly.
But unfortunately, the people behind the goalposts are still there, pushing back.
But that's sadly the way this goes. We see this in governments across the world as well. Like, the younger generation might want this change, whatever the change may be. But it takes 30, 40 years for those people to filter up into positions where they can start changing the rules.
That's it.
And by that time, they appear to be the dinosaurs for the next generation.
Exactly. It's unfortunate for them, I think, that women like Ana Carrasco, Maria Herrera, who have been there, are the ones that are the tip of the sword. Mm-hmm. Just try to cut the envelope and break in. You know, if Anna comes back in and absolutely dominates.
Oh my God, I've got everything crossed, mate. Everything is crossed that she comes out swinging this year.
The floodgates will then open.
And that's exactly the case.
And that's what we need.
That's exactly what we need. We need a breakout star.
That, you know, she's already a world champion in Supersport 300.
Yeah, just go on even a few podiums will do the job, man. A few podiums is enough to open the floodgates here. Or just be successful, be on TV a lot, be fighting up at the front. And you might not score a podium across the entire year, but if you've got TV time in every single race, that makes a big difference.
Yeah, it's just all about someone having the balls to stand up, showcase their talent, go out and do it, throw two-fingered salutes at the haters, and just usher in that new era. We're seeing it in other sports.
Certainly.
Where someone has stood up and just blinkered themselves to the bigots and just gone, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. And we've seen it in sports, and the FIA and Formula One is actually an example of this, where they've kind of gone, shit, this is an entire change. We need to do something about this. We need to make it a route in. Which is why we got the W Series. It's a female-only racing series, and some people have got problems with that. They're saying, well, maybe you are creating an us and them. Maybe that's a bit more of an issue. But these women are getting TV time from this, and that's the really important thing. And I am surprised the FIM hasn't followed.
Yeah, even if that's just the start, and we end up with a women's-only MotoGP series, then it's a start. They're there. They're doing.
Well, you could have the Women's Talent Cup, for example.
Anything.
That same feeder series that then feeds in, the top two finishers of that get a seat in Red Bull Rookies, or they get a seat in one of the other talent cups. Like, that's the kind of the progress we need. My major problem with it is we're all the same. We're all capable. We all deserve a shot. It doesn't matter what you are, who you are. Exactly.
I've made my feelings quite clear on whatever you are out there. As long as you're happy, I don't give a shit. I don't care what religion you are, where you're from, what anyone else thinks about you. I will think what I think about you, and just come and do your thing.
Exactly that. That's exactly it, isn't it?
It makes me very downhearted when I read this kind of stuff. And I read the quote from Rossi, and I'm the biggest fanboy. I really am a massive fanboy of his, but it's little bits like this that just chip away. And, we don't know what his meaning is behind it. He could have meant something completely different. He could be thinking...
It could certainly be a quote taken out of context, but it's hard to... Yeah. I feel like the quote is long enough, it's hard to take out of context. Yeah, exactly. But this is the fear of just reading a single quote. Maybe it has been heavily taken out of context.
If we read or had access to the entire interview, you could get a bigger, broader spectrum of what he said. He could be thinking, right, I'm going to have a daughter. She will probably follow Francesca's career.
Yeah, that's fair.
Could be naturally thinking down that road, and not thinking...
And that, to be fair, is something that we all would probably think, because the gender roles that exist in our world is so ingrained in all of us that your first thought is that. Even if that is your first thought, sometimes you catch yourself afterwards. And I do this a lot. I catch myself thinking something. Someone will say something, and I'll be like, "Oh, that's," and I'll have a bit of a problematic thought, and I'll catch it and be like, "No, that's not okay. You can't think about that. Like, that's not the way to react to this. You need to react differently to this, and you change your thinking to do with it." But those thoughts are just in my head. Those thoughts aren't going out to millions of people. No. So that's kind of the difference there. Maybe it was just an off-the-cuff comment that maybe he regrets now in hindsight, but maybe not.
It could be anything. We've now got 3 women at work on the shop floor doing exactly the same jobs as me.
Exactly, and that's probably very rare, I'd imagine. This is quite a new thing in the boat building industry, yeah.
We had... when did Benita start? Last year or the year before? But as far as I'm aware, she's the first female employee on the shop floor.
Okay.
Obviously, there's women in roles around the company.
But this is like we were saying in MotoGP before, wasn't it? You can have your grid girls, you can have women in management positions, you can have them in these communication positions, but not on the shop floor, not doing the manly work.
No, you drop in the office, and it's the other way around.
Exactly.
You've got one guy sat in the office compared to maybe 4 or 5 women.
Yeah.
You bring them on the shop floor, there's now 3.
Uh-huh.
And, absolutely no problem with that. 2 are apprentices, so they're learning the trade. But how do you speak to them? How's your day going?
Exactly. That's exactly it, isn't it? Just don't be a dick. Yeah. It really is that simple. Don't be a dick, and everything's fine.
They get given a task. Oh, they're going to fuck up solely because they're women.
Yeah, exactly.
No, they're not. They're going to have a go. They're going to do their best. They're apprentices. They're probably going to learn.
They probably are going to fuck it up because apprentices always do fuck it up.
Exactly. Or we roll past the bench. How you doing? You enjoying it? How you finding it?
Yeah, exactly. Anything I can help? All right, cool. Have a good day. See you later.
Yeah. What did you do before this? Oh, I did this. Oh, that's pretty cool. What made you want to do this? I just fancied a change. Yeah, why not? Knock yourself out. Go for it.
Exactly.
What's the difference? I would say that to the next lad that came in.
That's exactly it.
What is the difference? It's no different to this.
Yeah.
She rolls up. How you finding it? Oh, I don't know. I can't go around this corner. Try this.
Yeah, that's exactly the case. But it's just a shame, Steve, that people can't be like that, because reading through these comment threads, it's very obvious that sometimes these people, and I'll say it, the men in these comment threads are bringing up that reasonable argument. You know, this guy's had to lose his seat. It's not really fair. And you're right. It's unfair a rider's had to lose his seat. But that's sort of the way of motorsport. But when you're reading these comments, you're reading them, and I had the thought, I'm like, fuck me. If my sister, my mum, my siblings, like my friends were hanging out with these guys, I'd be genuinely worried about them. I'd be genuinely worried about their safety. The way these people were talking about Anna Carrasco and just talking about women in the sport as a whole, it just had me really concerned. And it's the same toxic bullshit that exists in every sport and every facet of society. It's just bullshit. And we all just need to move on and get over that. Let's all encourage Anna, because it is unfair that David Salvador's had to lose his seat. And like I say, that's just the way the sport goes. It happens all the time. If he could have brought more money, he'd have still been there. And if he couldn't, which clearly he couldn't, as is reported is the case, Anna just happened to be the person that was there that could bring the money. If it wasn't her, someone else would have been able to bring the money.
Exactly. What does it matter that it's her that's brought it?
Exactly that. It doesn't feel like a deliberate move to move a man out of the way to make room for a woman, which is what people are saying.
It happens all the time. We've seen it before. One guy will come along. He's got the sponsorship behind him. He's got his own backing. Mm-hmm. He brings a fuck ton of money with him. You're going to boot your guy because this guy's got a pocket full of cash.
Yeah.
And it just happens that it is Anna that's come along with a pocket full of cash.
Exactly that.
This guy, David Salvador, is just sat there.
It probably is David, actually, not David, isn't it?
So I say David.
You said David, but that probably I think he's Spanish, so I think that makes more sense.
I think I've just got used to if we're talking about someone in MotoGP, just putting an E on the end. It don't matter. She's turned up as an ex-world champion from a different race series, got a pocket full of sponsors, and it just happens that that's what these guys want.
Exactly. This is a move that, it feels to me at least, this is a move motivated by finance and keeping the team alive. Yeah. It's not a move motivated by the woke liberal agenda.
No, everyone's just focusing on the wrong side of this coin.
Because the bigger question actually is maybe Dorna should do something about the fact that you can have a contract that just gets torn up because someone with more money arrives. Yeah. That's the problem here. The problem isn't the fact that it's a woman coming in that's doing this. The problem is that you are capable of doing this in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen how quickly teams will drop their riders to benefit and bring in a different rider.
It happens all the time.
Yeah, it happens all the time. It's just, this is kicked off because she's come in and she's a woman.
That's exactly why it's kicked off that way,
what
certainly.
Does it fucking matter?
Exactly.
Get over yourselves.
That's it.
For Christ's sake.
And maybe we're wrong, Steve.
We could be very wrong. We could be hitting this completely wrong.
Yeah, maybe there is no sexism in the sport. I don't believe that, but maybe I am wrong. Maybe I'm looking into it a bit too much from my my liberal point of view here, which I do have. I certainly do. I have a liberal point of view, full stop. I'm very happy to admit that, and that's fine. So maybe I'm just covering it in my own bias. And maybe this move, it's been completely manipulated by Dorna to get a woman back in the sport. And maybe the toxic masculine posters on these threads attempting to spray their testosterone all over the comments threads, maybe they're correct. But I don't think they are. It's just we've got a sport that's got problems. And the problem here is the fact that you can have a contract that could be ripped up and thrown away instantly because the contract, unless you're a fucking Valentino Rossi, Marc Marquez level superstar, will always be very heavily weighted towards your employer as opposed to the employee, which is a problem we have in life in general. And maybe Dawn needs to do something to fix that. That's the issue. But the fact that there's been this rise of this misogyny, it is misogyny. This rise of misogyny that's appeared in comment sections and stuff really does upset me quite a lot. I want to call out the bullshit when I see it, Steve, and the fact that we don't have a massive audience. We have, I don't know, it's a 4-figure audience every week. Yeah. It's not huge, but I feel like with the conversations we have with our audience as well, I think they are probably going to agree. Please get in touch if you don't agree.
We'll quite happily chat about it.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like most of our audience understand, certainly where I'm coming from, because I've been very open about my opinions about this stuff in the past. But it just feels like another way for men to be angry at the world that doesn't really suit them, so they're upset at everyone, and they're now, once again, picking on the easiest target, which is women.
I feel as well like the people that come out in the comments are always the ones that are the antis.
Every time, mate. And I just wanted to clarify my point there. When I said picking on the easiest target being women, I don't mean I think there are more than 50% of the women in this world could kick my ass, no problem.
Easy.
There's no doubt. I don't mean women are an easy target.
I don't just mean you, I mean me as well.
I just mean that in the patriarchy that we live in today, women are a very easy target. Instead of attacking a man, it's very easy to attack a woman.
It's unfortunate that a lot of people still see women as an easy target.
Yes.
But it still happens.
It does. But then that happens, you permeate that up through every echelon of society. You look at the courts, you look at laws, you look at everything. And it's just bullshit. It's all bullshit. So all of this, I think, Steve, is just to say, good luck, Anna. Fucking nail it. I hope you do really well.
Yeah, same here. I'm glad you're coming back. Do well.
Yeah.
Win a world championship for us. Just
another one.
MotoGP.
Yeah, a Grand Prix World Championship.
Yeah. A Moto3 World Championship for us, girl. Come on.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, be a pioneer. Pave the way, for Christ's sake, so we don't have to have these conversations again.
Yeah, quite. But if we have to, Steve, I'll keep having these conversations, mate. I'm quite happy to keep banging this drum because this is a really fucking important drum.
Yeah, I'll quite happily chat to anyone about this because you know my point of view. I'm for equality across the board.
Yeah, exactly.
One straight line, and it does not matter at all what you are, where you're from, all that shit.
It's sort of funny, though, that we get upset with the Spanish domination, the Spanish and Italian domination of MotoGP, but we never get upset with the male domination of MotoGP.
Yeah, a little bit. I think it's just because it's been such a natural thing, not a natural thing, but the norm up until this point.
Well, it's a societally natural thing.
Yeah.
Like for men to be competing in these high-level sports.
Yeah.
It's a very normal thing. And it shouldn't be, but it is a normal thing.
No.
And it is a change, and that's why we are talking about this in such length now. It is a change when a woman comes into the sport, and it's a change that is 100% for the better.
Absolutely. I completely agree. It's only going to get better, but unfortunately we've got to break down these walls like have been done in other sports.
Exactly.
Before we can get to the point where we're talking about this in a far less negative way.
Yes, certainly. I agree.
That time will come. I think we're going to be considerably older.
Yeah, I don't.
Before,
I
think Enzo and Brody could be sat here before they're talking about it and it's a normal situation.
Enzo and Brody will be doing the podcast by then.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what
I mean. We'll be wheeled in our wheelchairs, try to break back in.
Be like, I told you so. Yeah. Electric racing and women. Told you so.
Literally that, mate. We're just stepping on the first tip of the sword in MotoGP where a massive shift is happening. And
it can't happen quick enough, mate.
No, it's not going to happen quick enough.
No, it won't happen quick enough, but it can't happen quick enough.
No, if we could wake up tomorrow and it was all sorted, it would be a hell of a different show. But it would be
a very interesting contract cycle if we woke up tomorrow and it was all sorted.
It would be nuts. But all we could do is just sit here, ride this cusp, sprout about what we feel. Anytime we see something that comes up which we don't know, we can just talk about it, have a conversation about it.
Exactly. And that's what
this is all about.
And I think even if our listeners, you guys out there listening, even if you don't agree with our thoughts and feelings about everything, I hope we've kind of argued it in a well enough way. I mean, I've been a bit mean a little bit towards toxic masculinity, but then really shouldn't we all be a bit mean about that, to be fair? But, I hope that it's come across that I've not been too high up on my horse here, because we all have faults, we all have problems, we all have problematic opinions. It's just being able to check yourself and just being able to hope that in the long run, everything will work out. And when you see bullshit, just call it out, because it really is the only way of changing anything.
Massively unfortunate thing. When you go through a thread of comments, the only ones bringing out the negativity are the keyboards amoebas.
Yeah.
Who the one-celled dicks who would, other than this, only sprout their thoughts to the single mate they've got with a single brain cell as well, and the single point of view.
Or their incel communities, they do that too.
Yeah, probably. Because they've got no one else to sprout it to.
Uh-huh.
But you give them a keyboard and a bit of separation, and they've got big balls.
And the sad reality is they have got big balls because they're generally always men.
Yeah.
That's the sad reality of it.
Aye.
But I think probably, Steve, it's time to get off this.
Let's get off this subject.
Because otherwise this could be an hour of me just hating on members of my own agenda here.
I hate on most of them, but there we go.
Yeah, quite. So, Steve, moving on, let's talk about a male human being that we do want to talk about. One Darren Binder.
Let's chat about this fella. I actually had a pause then for a second because I was like, Darren, we've already got Brad.
You're like, fuck, there's another Binder?
Yeah.
What's this? This is news to me.
I was like, what? That took a second for me to catch up.
Yeah, so Darren Binder, the 5th of our 5 rookies we've been talking about. If you haven't listened to those other show guys, we covered Fabio Di Gianantonio, we covered Marco Bezzecchi, we covered Raul Fernandez, we covered Remy Gardner. Now we're covering Darren Binder. And to be fair, if you haven't listened to those 4 previous shows, and you still sat through half an hour of Steve and I really raging and ranting a little bit, I'm very impressed. I'm very happy to have you listening.
If anyone, no, I'm not going to say
that. So, Darren Binder then, Steve. This guy is the brother of Moto3 champ and multi-time Moto2 and MotoGP winner Brad Binder, which means this is now the 3rd set of brothers on the grid after the Espargaro brothers, the Marquez brothers, and now the Binder brothers.
I'm loving the Christmas table rivalry we've got going on.
It's good, isn't it?
It's awesome.
Which one do you think would make the best band, Steve? Would it be the Marquez brothers, the Espargaro brothers, or the Binder brothers?
Binders.
Name alone, it's the Binders, isn't it? The musical talent, though, I would reckon the Marquez brothers probably would have it.
You see, if Zarco had a brother...
Yes, good point here. We're talking a different genres, aren't we?
Yeah, that guy's a one-man band on his own.
Yeah, that's fair.
You shove another Zarco in the mix, and you've got a top 10 hit all day long.
That's probably fair. So I'm seeing the Marquez brothers as like an indie band. They're going for a bit of indie. I'm seeing the Espargaro brothers as almost like a classical kind of...
I was going jazz.
A jazz, that would make sense. The Binder brothers are punk through and through.
Yeah.
There's nothing out. It's out of tune guitars. It's out of tune singing. It's a lot of screaming at the crowd and just raging at the system. That's what I see from the Binder brothers. Thrash metal. I'm not seeing thrash metal. I'm seeing punk.
You seeing punk?
Yeah, I'm seeing punk.
I'm seeing a bit more. I don't know though. I don't know.
Who would be the secret metalhead on the MotoGP grid?
Oh, the metal. Oh.
It's got to be one of the Italians, hasn't it? It's one of the long-haired fellas.
I'm going Morbidelli.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was leaning to as well.
Yeah,
I think Morbidelli's
just that Hendrix look. Yeah, definitely Morbidelli.
Yeah, he's the one that's just rocking out to Slayer.
Yeah, literally. Yes. I did treat the workshop on Saturday when we were in for the morning of work just to some of my 80s classic rock.
Nice. What are we talking about?
A little bit of Rat, Poison.
Okay.
Georgia Satellites.
No, that one's straight over my head.
Oh no, it was the Georgia Satellites. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that went down well.
Nice.
Yeah.
It always does though, doesn't it? That kind of 80s rock thing. It's that stadium rock that kind of everyone
you can
just
crank it up.
Yeah, yeah.
Big riffs.
That's what we
big
like.
air guitar, big hair.
Yeah.
Go for it.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm seeing the Binders.
Yeah, okay. No, I'm thinking of them. I can't get over the idea of them with safety pins through their noses and just like purple hair is what I'm thinking. I'm just thinking proper punks.
Proper punks. Yeah. I don't know. No, I'm going with 80s rock.
Okay. So let us get in touch, guys. Let us know if the brothers of the MotoGP grid were to be in a band of any musical genre. We're talking Marquez's, Espargaros, and the Binders. Which genre would they each be in? Get in touch and let us know.
Do we think Brad's a bit crashy, a bit elbowy, a bit feisty?
That's why punk.
Darren's a bit feisty.
Darren's maybe worse.
Yeah, he's probably a bit worse. Brothers of Destruction.
Oh, yeah. I liked the Binder brothers, but the Brothers of Destruction, BOD.
Oh, proper WWE quote.
It's funny
there.
because BOD at that point makes me think like a early 2000s nu metal band.
Yeah. The first thing that pops into my head is Kane and The Undertaker.
That's fair.
Brothers of Destruction.
I watched a YouTube video the other day about Kane and The Undertaker just hanging out because they're not actually brothers, obviously.
No, they're completely different.
And they were just hanging out like in just one of their houses, and obviously they're fucking multi-millionaire celebrities. They've got lovely houses, but they went into... Which one always wore a mask? Was it Kane?
Kane.
They went into like Kane's garage and he was like, yeah, I've just got all the... And you know like in Valentino Rossi's garage, there's just all the leathers and helmets hanging up. Kane's garage was a bit like that, but it was just all of his wrestling suits.
Oh, I hope he's washed them.
I'm sure he's washed them.
That'd be skanky.
Anyway,
let's get back on point.
Darren Binder was born 21st of January 1998. And he came through Red Bull rookies before making it into Grand Prix racing. I put a screenshot here in the notes, Steve. I assume you can see that, which is Darren Binder's 2014 career in Red Bull rookies. And I kind of put it there to illustrate a point that we'll get to later, in which he's been a very slow burn up until this point. But also the people he was competing against in this Red Bull rookies field in 2014.
Yes.
We're looking at guys like Jorge Martin won it in that year.
Yeah.
He beat Johan Mir to do so. Stefan Manzi was in third that year. We had other names. We had Bradley Ray. We had Manuel Pagliani. Toprak Ratsgatlioglu was there that year as well. I was
forcing myself to look at. I was like, my God, he was there.
Yeah, he was there that year. We also had Fabio Di Gianantonio there that year. Bo Bensnyder was there that year. And some other names I didn't recognise. But they're kind of the big names. There was a lot of people competing with him that year. And
that's a hell of a field, actually.
It's a hell of a field, isn't it? And I think that's probably true whenever you look at Red Bull rookies. We look at Red Bull rookies today. I'm sure if we took the same screenshot of the top 15 spaces or whatever, and you waited, when was this? This was 2014. So you wait 8 years. I'm sure the top names then will be in the top classes now.
Absolutely. I mean, that is a strong, strong field.
Yeah, it really is a tough field.
Jesus.
But he finished 13th in that year. It wasn't a great year for him.
No.
It was pretty much do or die, though. It was point scoring finishes or retirements across the majority of the season.
This is how I feel like a lot of his career has been.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, we've got 6th, a 5th, a retired, 10th, 11th retired, 13th, 18th
18th
retired.
Is the only one there to block the coffee book to finish a race without scoring points.
Yeah, that's the one. Retired, 10th, 12th, did not start 13th. 9th.
Yeah, and 9th. And then he finished the season in 13th on 55 points. But then we compared that to Johan Mir, who finished second on 197 points, or Jorge Martin, who finished on 254 points that year.
There's big jumps.
Big jumps.
There is big jumps.
And I mean, Toprak Ratsgatlioglu won a race that year, scored a couple of podiums. Yeah, it's not the best, but it was enough, is the important thing there. It was enough to get him into Moto3 in 2015.
Yes, exactly.
So Moto3 in 2015 was Binder's first year in Grand Prix racing. He raced for the Autox Reset Drink team, and it was aboard... Can you guess it, Steve?
A Mahindra.
He was aboard a Mahindra. So, not great. And
I like the first line of your comments after that. It wasn't a good year.
It was not a good year for Darren at all, Steve. After 18 rounds, he wasn't officially classified in the season standings because he didn't score a single point. It was 7 retirements and 11 finishes outside of the top 15.
It's a really bad history of Mahindra that we've painted over these last 5 shows.
The problem is, though, isn't it, is we saw people on a Mahindra able to perform and would at least score points and at least get stuff. And it's his first year, and that's fair enough. And as we will see, there's been a steady improvement throughout his career.
Yeah, like you said, slow burn.
Slow burn. He's one of the slow burns. He's not the Pedro Acosta. He's not the Loris Capirossi that just comes in and crushes it. It's been a very slow burn. He came close to points on a number of occasions, to be fair, finishing inside the top 27 times, and I think 5 or 6 of those were inside the top 18. So he was close, but it's... I know he was on a Mahindra. I know the Mahindra is a bit shit, but there were guys on the Mahindra doing much better than this.
Yes, that is the real fly in the ointment. We said you could go the hard way. You could take the Mahindra, wrestle it, have a good result. One good result is enough to get you noticed.
Exactly. One good result on the Mahindra is enough to get you signed to a better team.
But he's the first one that we've spoken about of these 5 guys that has not officially been classified.
He also feels like quite a unique case coming to MotoGP anyway, and we'll get onto that. But it just feels different, his arrival into MotoGP, than everyone else's.
Yeah.
So 2016, Darren stayed aboard the Mahindra, but did have a better year. Round 7, Catalunya, he scored his first points and took 3 more points finishes across the season, including a 4th place at Phillip Island, Steve.
That's pretty damn good for a Mahindra around Phillip Island.
Which is amazing thing, isn't it? Is he's barely scored points and then he's fighting for a podium all of a sudden.
But we saw that with, was it Fabio? Where all of a sudden... Di Gianantonio.
Oh, Di Gianantonio, yeah. So in Moto3 he was pretty good, but he had the speed up would have had a big chunk to do with that.
It was someone on the Mahindra all of a sudden had this weird race where they just performed very well.
I think most of the guys, is it this year we've spoken about them?
Yeah.
Okay, so most of the guys we've spoken about this year all rode a Mahindra at some point and had like a standout race.
Yeah, one of them. But, it's always just a little bit strange.
Yeah, but it's enough, isn't it?
Yeah, that is that one standout. And like we said, you only need one standout race to get noticed.
You certainly do. Because overall, he finished that season on 27 points, and it was 25th overall, which is obviously an infinite improvement from 0 points and not classified.
Oh, God, yeah.
But you're still not looking at him being like, this guy's going to be something. I mean, that same year, his brother Brad Binder won the championship with 319 points.
That is a considerable difference.
It is. But then actually you look a little bit closer and only 2 of the full-time Mahindra riders finished ahead of Darren that year.
Mm.
The other 3 finished behind him. So actually he's the 3rd best Mahindra. And the 2 best were Pecco Bagnaia and Jorge Martin. So, I mean,
not the worst people to get beaten by.
Exactly. Both MotoGP race winners.
Yeah.
Guys that are kind of pegged to be MotoGP World Champions in the future. One of them is a factory rider. The other is going to be a factory rider without a doubt.
Oh, absolutely.
They both beat him by a lot. Martin finished on 72 points. Bagnaia on 145, which seems like madness now looking at that on a Mahindra.
It does when you look at the numbers. You're like, Jesus, where did you pull that from?
Quite. But, at the same time, as we say about Darren, 3 other full-time Mahindras finished behind him. So
that's probably the saving grace.
He's in the top 50%, isn't he?
Yeah.
We can all aspire to be in the top 50% in life.
I'd love to be in the top 50% instead of the bottom 100.
The bottom 100, that's all of us, Steve.
Yeah, exactly.
The bottom 100. So that 27 points, the good finishes, was enough to get Darren a better ride for 2017.
That's it. Just plugged away. Like you say, 1 year to learn, 1 year to do.
Exactly.
And just that one little bit is enough.
And that's maybe the difference between the major talents of the Marc Marquez's, the Valentino Rossi's, who have 1 year to learn, 1 year to do.
Yeah.
Because that's 1 year to learn the class, 1 year to win the class. For Darren Binder, this was 1 year to learn the class, 1 year to score points.
Yeah, exactly.
And actually, it will be a very slow progression through, as we are about to see. So 2017 saw Darren stay with the same team, but the team moved away from Mahindra machinery and grabbed onto KTM'S.
Yes.
And Darren clearly liked the swap, Steve. He
Absolutely.
scored more points in the first half of the year than he'd done in the entire year previous.
Aye.
But that wasn't the end of the story, sadly, Steve. It
No.
all started to go a bit downhill in the latter half of 2017. He missed 4 rounds in the middle of the year and did not start in the final round. Failed to score points again after round 9, so finished 19th overall with 35 points.
That's just an odd way of doing it.
I assume it was an injury that made him miss 4
I couldn't
rounds.
find anything reading up on it that said anything about an injury.
No, I'm not sure. It's only when you look at the tables, you're like, he just wasn't there for 4 rounds.
Yeah, it just suddenly something happened. So the only synopsis you could come up with is it had to be an injury. Just when you read back through all the career stuff, it doesn't give details of it, which is quite unusual because normally if someone has an injury that will leave you out for 2 races.
It's normally, I think, a lot of the other riders, especially when we've been doing these, introducing the rookie shows, Wikipedia is a very good resource, full stop. I love Wikipedia. But it's usually a very good resource for these shows. However, with this one, and we don't just read Wikipedia, we're also looking at various other sources, but Wikipedia is kind of my go-to first point, and then I go fact-check in other places.
Yeah, that is normally my first tab, and then I'll branch out from there just to cross-reference and just make sure everything adds up.
Exactly, but there just wasn't much information on Darren Binder at all. No,
we said that about a couple of other guys, where there's just massive blanks.
Yeah.
And you've got to almost... What I tend to do is go through the score sheets on Wikipedia, just to try and piece together what's happened.
Exactly that.
Because even on the MotoGP website, when you look at people's bios, it will just be like, 5-year jump.
Yeah, and I do have to say, actually, if you want to look at a whole season in a snapshot, Wikipedia has got much better tables than MotoGP.com has got.
Well, if you remember last year, we looked at someone's MotoGP score sheet, and you've got to read the instruction manual to work out how they...
When you're digging through the proper MotoGP records and stuff, and
it's
because
hard.
a lot of those records are free online.
Yeah.
But fuck me, they're hard to navigate. Wikipedia makes it very easy and shows up you can just Google, and I do this a lot in the show to be fair, just Google the words 2013 Moto3. The first link that comes up is Wikipedia. Click on it, you scroll down 3 or 4 times, and you can see the entire season laid out on this beautiful table in front of you, and everything's there.
Yeah, but the MotoGP one, you'll have each race broken down into a box. In the middle of that box would be like your finish position.
And there's things in italics, there's things in bold, there's things, the key, you can't find the key anywhere. Like, it's just all over the show.
Yeah, colour-coded.
Yeah, exactly.
For one reference or another. All of a sudden, you've got 4 or 5 points in one little box, and you've got to disappear into the reference key. And it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's a lot going on. Wikipedia makes it much easier, but there's just not a lot of information on Darren Binder on there.
Not really, no. Just annoying, but we dug it. Well, you dug it because you did, super early.
Yeah, it was done early this week, Steve. Like I said to you, I had to take my mother-in-law, I suppose. Never tell her I called her that because she would love it and it would just embarrass me. I essentially had to take my mother-in-law to hospital, just a routine checkup. But I'm sitting in the car park, like, have I got 20 minutes or have I got 2 hours here? I was like, I can't just sit here and do work, but I have got my computer, so I'm just going to do my show notes instead. So I managed to do my whole show notes. I was sitting in the car park, waiting for my mother-in-law to come back out. So that was nice and easy. I
was sat at work and all of a sudden my phone went off. It was linked up Bluetooth to the radio. I was like, bing bong. Looked around everyone in the workshop was like, you got mail, motherfucker.
Well, it's funny because I sent it from my personal email account, but because I'd also been writing the notes, I had the podcast email account open on a webpage. So I sent it and then got the same notification noise. I was like, what the fuck? Oh, yeah, I've still got that inbox open.
I got it. Yeah, I was like, wow, he's on point.
Yeah, I was a bit ahead of time this week, which is why I didn't have much about testing written down.
No. I just spent all evening. I was like, try and find something he hasn't got. Like, shit, he's got it all.
Yeah, I had 2 hours sitting in a hospital car park. Wait, there was literally nothing else. I was busting for a piss, and I was like, I don't think I'm allowed in the hospital. Just go for a wee now.
Oh, I had that last year when Sarah was having a treatment. Like when first chemo, second chemo.
Yeah.
Got up to the hospital because we didn't know how long it was going to be. I had the boys with me. It was going to be half an hour.
Oh, mate.
It was like the second I turned that engine off, need a piss.
Yeah.
And that psychological hit goes in. You can't go.
I was just looking for a bottle. I was like, literally the only bottle I've got in the car is a bottle that is a 5-litre bottle full of water. I'm not just pouring that out to piss in it.
Oh, yeah. Bad news. I got to the point where I was like, can I honestly go for a piss in this hedge in front of an entire full hospital car park?
Well, it's an interesting point, actually. I hadn't thought about this, and I'd never asked you before, but was the hospital car park still full during the middle of lockdown?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, it really was.
Okay.
That was a very strange thing, because like Sarah got ill.
There's no cars anywhere, and then you get to the hospital, you're like, fuck, everyone's here.
Our first appointment was quite empty.
Okay.
We got up there, it was August 2019.
No,
2020. When she got diagnosed, and we got up there for the first appointment, which was just like a quick, give her a check, but that descended into a quick check, a quick ultrasound, a quick biopsy, so we were there all day, and it progressively got busier, and I was like, if it's like this, it'll be okay. No. Then, the next appointment, the first chemo appointment, was like, fuck me, it's rammed.
Okay.
It was absolutely rammed, it did not change.
Okay, fair enough. On to 2018 and Darren Binder then, Steve.
Yes, bud.
So for 2018, Darren Binder moved away from the Otox Reset Drink team and joined the Acciaio Red Bull KTM team. And I'd sort of forgotten this had happened, but as soon as I read it, I was like, shit, yes, he was the Red Bull. Because we all had this, oh my God, his brother did it with Acciaio's Red Bull team. Can he go and do it now?
Yeah.
Wouldn't this be incredible? For anyone that doesn't know, I assume most of you do, but the Acciaio Red Bull KTM team in Moto3 is the de facto KTM factory squad. Much like it's the de facto KTM factory squad in Moto2 as well.
Yeah.
The team had won the title 2 years previous with Brad Binder, as I was just saying. And a steady improvement saw Darren Binder. I've completely confused myself with my notes here. Rewind. It was a steady improvement and a season that saw Darren Binder take his first podium in Moto3, and that was a 3rd place in Japan. I mean, this squad is incredible and have been very good at moulding riders and getting them to reach their kind of performance peaks. And it sort of looked like it was happening here. It was just like, oh my God, he's done the podium now. He's getting points. Across the year, he had 8 point scoring finishes, but there were still 5 non-scores, 3 retirements, and 2 did not starts. He missed a race at Germany due to injury, which gave one Raul Fernandez a chance to step up, which we've spoken about recently. And across the season, Darren finished 17th with 57 points. So a huge improvement on previous years, and the trajectory is in the right direction. But that's not the results you want with an Akio Red Bull KTM team. That's the kind of thing. If you're not taking consistently taking podiums, if you're not fighting in the top 5, if you're not, in the championship battle, it kind of feels like a disappointing year on that bike.
It does now. Even back then, everyone was taking notice of this team.
Well, I mean, this team, and Akio has been a dominant force in the MotoGP paddock for a while. I mean,
pretty much crushed anything that they've done.
Yeah, Brad Binder won the title with them. Miguel Oliveira came within a handful of points the year before. Even before that, I mean, Chanon Chu one year won on a wildcard entry in Valencia.
Just that last race of the year madness.
Like, shit happens with that team. Akio is very good at making shit happen.
His magic lamp is well rubbed.
Certainly. It sounds like a big euphemism, Steve, but I agree.
Yeah, I didn't really realise that when I put it out there. Anyway, like you say, they just mould. They have a talent for bringing the best out of their riders.
Certainly. And
when you look at his points finishing at the end of the year, 17th, 57 points, and then you look at the number, 10 non-scores.
Oh, yes. Yeah. 10 times he didn't score points.
Yeah. Let's just assume he scores 10 points in each of those races.
Well, that's it. You can work it out, can't you? 150. My phone here. Going to get the calculator. Oh, can you do the maths without the calculator, Steve?
Well, you've got 10 points, 10 rounds, 100 points.
Oh, yeah. I was going to average out the points he got, though.
Oh, right. Okay.
57 points divided by 8. He scored 7.1 points per round. So it would have been over those 10 rounds he didn't score. That's 71 extra points. That bumps him up to, we're looking at, 100 and something points.
What did we say? 71 point what?
It's just 71.
135.5.
Oh, Steve, you're good. This was 2018, wasn't it? Was this 2018? I'm trying to look at what happened in the table that year. It was 2018. So in 2018, Steve, when my computer loads, I was really hoping it would load faster than this, so I could just go with it and not have to pretend I was loading up tables. So I could just do it off the top of my head.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunate indeed. So in 2018, you're saying 150 odd points, are you? He'd have finished 5th in the championship if he'd have scored average points across those rounds.
Oh, gutted. I'm trying to bring my phone up to actually do the math, but for some reason, all of a sudden it's frozen.
That's fine. He'd have finished somewhere around 5th or 6th, which is a huge difference to the 17th that he did finish in.
That is a massive difference.
Consistency, mate. It's always about the consistency.
How much we banged on about it? Points.
Every single time.
Points, mate. Points are the sole purpose of this race.
Points win prizes, my friend.
Yep. You cannot ask for more. Bring it home. Start each race. Finish each race.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter how many.
Because to be fair, 15th is better than the gravel trap. A single point is better than crashing.
Yeah. You come home. All right. It might be disappointing for your expectations you set yourself.
But it's better at the end of the year if you scored a single point in every round to scoring no points across the season.
Yeah. What would you rather? Roll in the garage or watch your bike get brought back in the back of a van?
Exactly. That's it. So 2019, Steve, saw Binder move to the CIP Green Power squad. The Chanon Chu rider that we just mentioned, actually, who came in 2018, won that final race of the year, Valencia, chucking it down with rain. A great MotoGP race between Marquez and... was that between Marquez and Dovi? I think it probably was.
Oh, God.
I'm thinking of Japan, actually.
I think you are. Yeah,
I am thinking of Japan.
This is where we start talking about this now, and then we sort of flick back to what happened in MotoGP. And I find that information really hard to extract.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, hang on, I want to get this right. And then I start doubting myself.
But I do remember watching this at the time and being like, fuck, Steve, have you just seen that Chanon Chu, a complete rookie wildcard, just won this race? What the fuck?
I can remember watching it, and I was glued to it.
Yeah, man.
Because everyone was just like, he's just got a wildcard. And all of a sudden he's at the front.
And crushing it.
Yeah.
And I remember texting him, I'm like, I can't believe this. Yeah. And then when you look at what happened to his career after that, it's really a fall from grace, sadly.
Oh, just a bit.
But yes, so Binder, after being replaced by Chanon Chu at the Akio Red Bull KTM team, moved to CIP Green Power. Binder's first year with the team was interesting. He scored his best ever finish of second place in just his second outing with the team in Argentina. He then had a consistent run of top 15 finishes, but in the second half of the year, once again, his form really dropped. Across the year, he scored 8 points finishes in the first 12 rounds, and then only 1 in the last 7 rounds.
It's a bit nuts, isn't it? When you look at his form, whenever he switches a team, it's almost like he's had a rush of blood. He gets excited.
I think this might be normal especially for young guys.
Yeah,
competing.
It's just like he can do anything with it because it's new and it's exciting. Yeah. But the minute that adrenaline wears off, that buzz, and it's like, shit, actually, we've got to make this bike work and mold it to me. I've got to mold myself to this bike. All of a sudden, it becomes hard. Mm-hmm. You know, it's almost like if you could pick that sort of high up and just bring it all the way through the year.
Oh, certainly.
It'd be amazing.
If you could bottle that shit, mate, and all of a sudden you could just be like, you're performing at your best all the time, happy days, you'd be the best sports psychologist on the planet.
That'd be amazing. But he's the opposite of everyone else. Everyone else is a slow upward curve. This guy's a downward curve.
Well, it kind of flips, doesn't it? Because it is, when you look at the progression full stop across his career, it has been a slow upward trend, but there's been blips. And this year was a blip. So he finished on 54 points across the year. Compare that to the 57 beforehand. He finished in 2018, 57 points, 17th overall. 2019, 54 points, so just 3 points less. But he dropped 5 spots in the championships over those 3 points, which ended up with him in 22nd overall. And actually, Steve, like we were just saying, this is actually his first backward step since entering the Moto3 class.
Yeah. Sometimes, we've spoken about the other guys, they sort of stepped onto the Mahindra after being on something else. This guy hit it at the start. So this kind of feels like his little Mahindra blip.
Yeah, that's fair.
They all tend to go through this little downward curve.
Yeah.
Not even mid-season, this was 2019. But at some point, they always have this little downward curve.
Yeah, certainly.
And this just feels like his, where you suddenly go backwards for a bit. It doesn't take away from your ability. It's just a proper terrible season in the sense that you've gone backwards.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I think it's just something that they all have to get out of the system. I think is a good way of putting it.
Yeah, that's probably fair. It's just one of those things. It just happens to everyone at some point.
Yeah, but for me, if that was me, that would be a massive motivational push. I take failure quite hard and very self-critical. So if I was sat in his shoes or any of their shoes and I was back in that paddock and I looked at it, like got off the bike at the end of Valencia and was like, shit, actually, I haven't done as well as I did last year.
Yeah.
That fire would kick in, that burn would be there to suddenly, this is the kick up the arse I need.
Yeah, that's fair.
Step this game up.
And step his game up, he did, Steve.
He's certainly seamless, mate.
For 2022, Darren stayed with the CIP team and had a much, much better year.
Yeah.
The truncated 15-round season, it was the COVID year, saw him score points on 10 occasions across the 15 races, 2 of which were podiums, and 1 of them was a win.
All of a sudden, it's just gone nuts.
Yeah, he had 4 retirements and 1 non-score, and overall finished the season in 8th on 122 points. So this was a huge jump in performance.
A massive jump. All of a sudden, he's just shot right up the rankings.
And maybe it was a shorter season. We know he has a terrible time at the end of the season. So maybe really just having a shorter season meant that the first half of the season just felt a bit longer. So he just got all of the results in, and then he didn't have time to decline.
Wasn't enough time to have that massive downward slope.
If you'd have stopped at round 7, he's probably world champion. I don't know that.
Absolutely.
I'm making that up completely.
But it's odd, isn't it? We've spoken about all 5 of these guys now, and 2020 seemed to be a good year for them all.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? That COVID year.
It's just a mad situation where you think that COVID year would be such a head fuck for everyone.
Yeah.
That they wouldn't be out of cope, but all of a sudden they've just done really well.
Yeah, they all did. The guys we've all spoken about did very well in that year.
It's just a mad thing, but that's the way it is, and it's beneficial for all their careers, so happy days.
Certainly, that's exactly it. Obviously, he's made that massive step. But 2021 rolls around, Steve. 2021, last year, and Darren had moved to the Petronas Sprinter team, riding a Honda for the first time. So he's done the Mahindra thing, he's done the KTM thing. He's now aboard a Honda.
Oh, yeah.
He's alongside John McPhee, and this is the same team that has teams in Moto3 and had teams in Moto3, Moto2, and MotoGP.
Yep.
And he improved again. He scored points in 13 of the 18 rounds, including 2 podiums in the first 2 rounds of the year.
Yep.
Didn't take another win across the year and had 1 disqualification and 1 DNF and 3 non-scores. So, it was the 13-point scoring finishes and 5 non-scoring finishes, but his consistency had improved massively, and he'd taken a huge leap forward to end the season in 7th overall with 136 points.
Better. Much better.
A much better season. Much better. It was often said during this season that he was just too big for a Moto3 bike, which is probably fair.
I think that is fair.
I'm not going to argue that. He's about the same size and weight as Raul Fernandez.
Yeah, he's a pretty big boy.
Yeah. But when you just look at the numbers, you take anything out, it feels like he was improving season by season and he was really getting somewhere. And part of me, Steve, we know he's moving into MotoGP next year.
Yes.
It's this jump which seems to be a weird contractual jump to MotoGP as opposed to a Jack Miller type, oh my God, you're so good, let's get you in MotoGP now kind of move.
Yeah.
It feels like a very contractual move, but shit happens or doesn't, and it is what it is. There's no blame on Darren for this at all. I mean, his lawyers have done a wonderful job. He's where he always wanted to be, and fair enough. I just hope it wasn't too early, because this season-by-season tick-up in form is the same thing we saw from Remy Gardner. It's the same. Next year might have been his breakout year, man.
It could have been, but now we'll never know.
We'll never know, because he's going to be in MotoGP, and he's going to be struggling to adapt to a new machine. We saw how much Jack Miller struggled. I'm fearful that he's going to struggle as much, if not more.
Yeah, I really do think his form is going to mirror Miller's pretty much on a par.
I just don't think he's going to be given the same chances as Miller.
No, not with the level of talent that's coming through.
And without the previous results, Miller probably should have been the Moto3 World Champion.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, fuck me. 2013, the year Alex Marquez won it?
I think so, yeah.
No, it was 14.
Was it 14? Yes.
It was 14 because it was the first time two brothers had won it at the same time, won MotoGP and Moto3. I'm sure it's 2014. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But he's not coming in with the same level of talent and results as Jack Miller, so I don't think he's going to be given the same chance.
I don't think so. I would be, if he doesn't perform that well, I would be more comfortable for his chances of staying in MotoGP if he's on a Ducati. Just purely for the number of bikes there.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Being on the Yamaha...
Especially when we know Raul Fernandez wants that Yamaha.
Yes, exactly.
We know there's a chance Toprak Razgatlioglu might want that Yamaha. There's a good chance next year neither Dovi or Binder will be on the MotoGP group. There's
a massive chance of that, mate. It could be a huge switch. I don't know.
But when the opportunity is given to you, you don't say no.
Exactly. I think even if he does moderately well, there will be a ride for him in Moto2.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be a ride for him in Moto2.
I can't see him gelling with this bike quick enough to really have an impact. I honestly believe that in the last maybe 4 rounds, we could see glimmers of what he's capable of.
It might be like the Iker Lecuona thing, where once the contract's done and signed and he's out, he then has some good results.
Yeah, I think you could be absolutely right. I don't know. He really is one. I think this is a mistake moving up this early, and he really should have gone through the Moto2 road. But, sorry, just a little smack on the mic. I don't know. Here we are.
Exactly.
You can't change it.
Probably should have gone through Moto2, but at the same time, if I'm a Moto3 rider and someone comes to me and goes, "Do you want this MotoGP contract?" I'm not going to say,
"No, you're not going to turn it down."
Unless it was Aprilia in like 2020. Yeah, you're not going to be like, "Nah, I'll turn this down. I'm going to take a season in Moto2." You jump at it, and you're jumping onto a competitive machine. You're jumping onto the bike that won the World Championship last year.
Exactly. So it's got pedigree. We know it's got pedigree,
and we know it's a user-friendly bike. It's a bike that rookies traditionally have gone very well on.
Exactly. I just wish him all the best. I hope he does well.
I hope he does well. I do like the guy. I think he's a lot of fun. I don't think he should be in MotoGP yet, but that's just me. That's just my sofa armchair expert thing going on here. I think he probably should have gone through Moto2 first, and part of me thinks maybe there should just be a rule in that you kind of have to. You can't jump from Moto3 to Moto2 or to MotoGP. It would be weird to hire someone from World Supersport 300 and put them in MotoGP.
Yeah,
that feels really fucking weird. But you can seem to do it from Moto3 to MotoGP, which it's only happened on two occasions, but it still happened. It still feels weird.
Exactly.
I think
it's still
there.
There.
Progression more than anything. It's the super
definitely.
license thing in Formula One. We've spoken about this before.
We spoke about. I don't know. Here we are. So I don't know.
But good luck, 2022. Could be a fun year. It's going to be a fun year, I'm sure. Full stop. And I hope Darren does well. I've not got any hope of Darren being top rookie, though.
No, not at all. Of all the rookies coming up this year, he is the one that confounds me the most. I just do not know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
All the others I can kind of predict and have confidence in what I'm saying. Darren, I think, is going to provide a lot of entertainment. I think he's going to be a massive character and a big draw in the crowd on the paddock. But his racing results and what he could do, I am just a bit of an unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah, just have fun, mate.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it, isn't it? We'll just wait and see what happens, eh?
Yes, buddy.
So that's it, Steve. That's the end of our introduction to each of the rookies. It's flown by, mate.
It has flown by. That seems like it's been really, really quick.
5 episodes have just whipped past.
They have 5 weeks of podcasting madness.
And it's probably, Steve, now only 3 weeks until we preview Qatar.
Oh, can't wait.
So, we've got 2 of those weeks filled. We know what we're doing with those. We don't know what we're doing with the third one yet. So we'll work that out in the next 3 weeks, I suppose. We haven't got a choice.
Exactly. We've got a busy few weeks coming up. So, we've got a show to go next week. That's going to be fun.
Yes, next weekend. It's London next weekend, right?
Yeah.
It's not Motorcycle Live. I keep calling it Motorcycle Live.
No, it's the Carol Nash Motorcycle Show at the XL Arena in London.
Exactly. So we are going to be there. We're going on the Friday, right?
Friday the 11th.
We're just going on the Friday. We're just going as general punters. But if any of you guys are going to be there on the Friday, drop us a message, hit us up. We'll go out for a drink or something. Steve's driving, so probably won't be going out for a drink. But I'll come out for a drink.
Tim will have a drink.
Steve will have a coffee. That's fine.
I'll hit the caffeine up.
Yeah, exactly. And then the following, Steve, we're off to see Bikes and Banter to see John McGuinness and
Jamie Whittam.
Jamie Whittam, there it is.
Yep.
Jamie Whittam, who are doing a talk in Norwich, so we're going to go see that as well. So we've got a couple of busy weeks.
We've got a motorcycle packed few weeks.
Yeah, well, we have got one show before those though, so we'll put another reminder out before then.
Yes, next Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. But if anyone's going to be at either of those events, get in touch. We'll sort something out.
Yeah, definitely.
That's pretty much the end of the show, Steve.
Oh, that is.
We're there. So, guys, if you've got any questions for us at all, you want to tell us we're wrong about Darren Binder and he's going to do amazing, you want to go off on one about my woke liberal agenda, or you just want to talk about the current bike launches, you can get hold of us on...
Are you ready, George? We are For the Love of MotoGP, and you can find us on Instagram and Twitter, or come and join the Facebook community. We have been a little slack, but we're getting back on it.
I've been very slack, and I cannot promise I will be less slack, but I just rely on Steve to be dealing with that one for me.
I try. Sometimes it's been a busy week, boys have been ill, work's been nuts.
Yeah, I just have this problem as well, that I use my computer pretty much solely for work, and I do obviously do all the podcast notes and we record on my computer and stuff, but in my off time, I don't like looking at screens so much. I've taken all the social media off my phone for that reason, because it just sucks up too much of my life. So it's every now and again I have to remember to, oh shit, I need to check the Facebook group, and then log in and check.
I set all the notifications up so I don't have to go in it. I just get the notifications through. Someone was supposed to approve, someone's applied.
Oh, okay.
So I've done it that way, and I do flick through every day, and I try and think, like, will this be good, sharing the group, and so on and so forth. Anything relevant. But come and join in.
On a couple of occasions, I've looked at it and been like, people are asking to join. I'm like, Steve can deal with it.
I just generally go on, like, have you answered the questions? Yes, you're good.
Yeah, exactly. At no point have you claimed to be a dick, so you're probably okay.
Yep.
In.
You'll be fine. You're not banned from 5 other groups. You're welcome.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on in. But come and join us. The numbers are growing. It's good fun over there.
It's ticking along again. It's still a small group in the world of Facebook, but it's ticking along again.
It's come on. I don't care how big it is. Just the people in there are nice.
As long as everyone's nice. Exactly. And everyone in there is wonderful.
They are. But if you've got any points you want to drop to us, anything you disagree with, agree with, any questions, anything like that, anything you want to talk us about, drop us an email. We are For the Love of MotoGP at gmail.com.
Nailed it.
George.
And that's everything from us, guys. So thank you all very much for listening. We'll be back next week. Not sure what next week's show is going to be. We've got a week to think about that.
Yeah.
Oh, also, before we do end, T-shirts for the prizes, Steve.
Yes.
Apologies, we've been pretty slack. Like I say, there's just been some bullshit going on. Don't worry about it. But we're getting to that now. We were sitting here and finalising our designs this week. They hopefully will be finalised by next week, in which case we'll send them off to the printers and we will get the T-shirts. And we will notify the winners when the T-shirts are here. And with us, we'll send you some pictures of them and then we will post them your way, my friends.
We haven't forgotten.
We haven't forgotten. They are on the way. I'm sorry for being useless, but, you know, Steve's known me for years and knows I'm useless, and he chooses to put up with me. So
yeah, I honestly thought, because we'd spoken about them before, because we had the pictures all sent to us. You know, we've had
the artist stuff. It's all been sitting in my box for a few weeks.
And I knew we'd had a conversation about it, and I was like, yeah, they'll be getting them soon. And then literally later on, you sent me a text saying, we must sort out these T-shirts. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, we just talked about them.
Yeah, we just talked about finalising the designs and never actually did anything, which is very classic Tim.
That's pretty much classic me as well. If it's work-related or stuff that's in my face, I will hop on it. But, you know, I didn't have it in my face, so
this is it. Unless I have a to-do list, I do forget shit all the time.
Yeah,
and this is just one of those things that never made onto my to-do list. But they are going to be on their way, guys. I promise. By next week, we will have designs finalised and sent off to printers, and then hopefully by the following week, we will have the t-shirts to at least be able to send you pictures of them and then post them out your way. And let's be fair, we are posting all the way across the Atlantic, which to travel a human across the Atlantic takes like 12 hours. Well, I mean 6 hours if you fly really fast and you're doing the shortest journey. But to travel post across the Atlantic often takes weeks.
It's a bit bizarre, isn't it?
And I mean, I think it's different between shipping and flying, but, you know.
I'm pretty sure I could nick a boat from work and get them across quicker.
Oh my God, let's do that.
Should we do it?
Let's 100% do that.
Fuck it, why not?
There we go.
So they won't notice.
When you don't hear from us next week, that's because Steve and I are either somewhere in the Atlantic, desperately trying not to drown and hoping that this boat that Steve made is going to get us across, or we're in jail somewhere.
We'll probably be in jail.
We'll be in jail. Steve doesn't have faith in his own boat, sadly.
Well, I didn't build all of it.
Did you build the waterproof bits? That's all
I make it watertight.
I want to know if it's watertight and it goes.
It'll be fine.
I don't care if it's comfy.
My theorem is, if we go quick enough, it can't sink.
My theory with driving is if you go quick enough, you can't crash.
Yeah.
So that works.
We go along that. Right, we'll see you soon.
We'll see you soon, folks. Stay safe. Look after each other. Hopefully we'll be with you next week. But if we're not, we've either been arrested or we drowned. Who knows? We might never know. Speak to you next week, guys. Probably. Goodbye.
Take care.
Music is by Andrew Greenwood. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.